And we should be live. Welcome to There Will Be Spoilers, the show which does a deep dive into movies. So if you don't want to listen to spoilers, go watch the movies first, and then come back and listen to us.
What is the name of the show not going to amuse you?
Well, I think it's we're blatantly telling people that there will be spoilers, so there can't be any complaints.
No,
because we will be going into the plot and everything else in these movies, as we always do,
for better or for worse.
Yeah. And we've solved the mystery of the annoying thumping off air.
We think.
Yes.
We hope.
I apologize for the last time. Apparently there was something that I think I found the source.
There was, and Bane and I remained silent about it for a long time.
I wish you wouldn't have.
Well, I didn't really know what the fuck it was, so.
Neither did I. Clearly. I need a new guest.
I thought we were intercepting one of those message stations, that repeat the messages. Only this one was Morse code.
We were picking up your fucking messages from Russia, apparently.
Yeah. So yeah,
it was the bot in the jar all along.
So anyway, what movies are we talking about this week?
Well, I've picked two of the most depressing movies ever. Train to Busan and Grave of the Fireflies. I'm sorry. If anybody watched them.
I don't know if I'd say Train to Busan is depressing, or at least not any more depressing.
The last 5 minutes
than any other zombie movie. I mean, it's... I don't know. Do you consider zombie movies depressing? I guess in a way.
Yeah,
but,
some of them definitely.
But not in the same way as Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh yeah, no. No, they're a little different. But like as an example, 28 Days Later still makes me cry. I'm a wuss though. It's okay. I'm aware.
So which one should we start with? We usually start with the easier one, but I don't know which one that is in this case.
Neither one really.
I think personally the less heady one would be Train to Busan.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. So what does that say that we're starting with the zombie movie?
Yeah, I mean,
lighter in tone.
Yeah. It is lighter in tone. Yeah, it's a lot softer. I definitely. Oh man, come to think of it, I've seen Grave of the Fireflies with my mother, and I'm not sure I'd ever want to do that again.
Oh my god, did your poor mother cry?
Oh my gosh, did she ever?
Oh, you're mean. Oh, Mom, let's watch this lovely little animated film about a couple of children. You're a monster. You're a monster.
Well, I guess it's kind of off topic, I guess, but I mean, she would have enjoyed Train to Busan a lot more than Grave of the Fireflies. Let's put it that way. I guess the movie is Braveheart. Yeah. So
I don't know. Oh god, Train to Busan gets me, especially the last 5 to 10 minutes of that one. It's pretty awful.
Well, I mean, yeah, dramatically, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy every character except one, the obvious one.
The one you're not meant to like.
Yeah, the one who's an asshole pretty much right out of the gate.
Yeah.
At the end, it makes you almost sympathize with him a little bit.
So should we start with the overall plot, because the plot's pretty easy, I think, to sum up, and then we'll go into the characters because they're a little bit more complex.
Chemical plant leak, zombies
or something.
Well, no, it's a chemical leak. There's news flashes, standard zombie movie setup.
Yeah.
So
we have-
a father and his daughter are on a train to Busan, in case the title doesn't give it away.
Well, she wants to
Which
go
is-
see her mother for her birthday, and you have the standard fathers and workaholic doesn't
Yeah,
pay
the
too-
overworking father.
The
and-
overworking father doesn't pay close attention to his kid, buys her a second Wii U or Wii for her
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, it's
He's
even
already bought.
in the movie that fathers get a bad rap, which I thought
It
was
is. I enjoyed that a lot too.
I found that this movie didn't overplay that though, and it didn't go out of its way at all to make him seem like a piece of shit or anything like that.
He felt
just-
genuine. We saw that he actually
Just
felt
worked a lot.
bad. Yeah, he felt bad that he bought her the wrong thing for her birthday. Like he felt it wasn't a dad cares more about his job than his kid. He genuinely felt bad for forgetting with her birthday.
But yeah, they get on the train to Busan, and there's a zombie outbreak right across the country, including on the train.
Of course.
And that's about it as far as plot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the
outbreak
actually
starts with a young woman with her
On-
leg wound. It looks like she has a bite on her calf, and she has tied it off above the knee.
Yeah,
she
she gets
comes
on the train
flying into the
fast.
train last second.
Yeah, just before it leaves. So yeah.
Which actually kind of makes a little bit sense that nobody took notice of her. 'Cause
Well, yeah,
she
you
ran
can
to
see
catch
the,
the train, right?
Yeah, the security guard or just the whatever he was. She just ran in behind him. At he sees that thing probably 100 times a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, rather unfortunate for the characters that the train didn't leave like 30 seconds earlier.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty unfortunate for I'd say 60% of that train's passengers. So they hired a lot of contortionists to do some of the really cool zombie moves in this film. I love the way the zombies move. None of them use their hands to get up.
Yeah, there's a lot of jerking, isn't there? And
yeah, a lot of jerking, a lot of like contorted bodies. Obviously, they had contortionists.
yeah,
they're very interesting to watch because like I mean how many ways does one zombie?
Well, yeah, you think zombies are interesting in that regard. They're becoming not interesting at all, but there seems to always be something new that somebody can come up with.
Yeah, STD zombies. That was a good one. I liked that. That was entertaining.
Oh. Yeah.
Contracted. That was good. But yeah, I like that we got like almost a combination of the Shambler and your rabies zombies.
Yeah, I would say it's the ultimate Shambler. It gets
Yeah.
zombies. I guess more. I'm using air quotes here. More correct than even Night of the Living Dead did, as an example, because they truly are goldfish. The zombies in Night of the Living Dead, 1968's Night of the Living Dead, they use tools very briefly.
Yeah,
a rock to break a window. These zombies, they're goldfish. If the characters will unfortunately find out.
Yeah, they lose sight of you. They lose interest. They probably have a 2-second memory. The ultimate Shambler, though, that sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Very bad wrestler.
Yeah, bad wrestler, but introducing the ultimate Shambler.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. So they did something, one of my new favorite things, when they are in a large compact group, they all kind of barrel over each other in a mess. They don't move like a herd. Like every other zombie.
They don't. If they have the momentum to do that, and if the herd is big enough, then yeah, that was a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, there's an instance in an open, sort of wide open train yard, and they're all sort of chasing them, and they converge on each other, and they all just kind of clash, and there's bodies flying everywhere, and it's very entertaining.
It's kind of like a tidal wave, actually.
It is like a tidal wave. They just barrel over everything, including each other. No, they don't care at all.
Well, they have no like standard zombies. They have no regard for themselves or anything.
They'll walk in front of things. They'll walk off of things. They'll try to walk through things.
So, should we go into the characters? Because I think that's one of the most interesting things about the movie.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've got Gong Yu is the dad's name, and it's
yes. You actually remember the names,
kind of, sort of.
I've just like named the characters in my head, like the big guy. I kind of
father or dad.
Refer to him as Hercules.
Well, Korean Hercules. Okay, so let's use Bane's naming system instead of the Korean.
Because I'm not going to remember Gung Ko or whatever.
Gong.
Yeah, which one's? I don't know which one that is.
The dad.
That's the dad.
The dad. Okay, the dad I can understand. Yes.
Okay, so we have the dad and his daughter. Okay, divorced dad, workaholic dad.
Yep.
And his daughter going to see her mother in Busan. We have the baseball team, because the Asians love baseball. Love their baseball. And one girl who's their cheerleader. They're sort of off in a car all by themselves at the beginning there.
Yeah, they don't last very long, except for two of them.
Nobody lasts very long. By the way, this zombie virus is almost instant if you get bit in the wrong place.
Yeah,
like it happens so fast. With that,
I should mention the girl who came on, who stuck on the train or ran on, caught it at the last second. She had her leg tied off very tightly above the knee.
Yes.
So the virus didn't seem to spread as fast, but it still spread. Probably she was probably bitten.
Minutes.
Less than a minute, or seconds. It could have been, because the train leaves very shortly after, and that's when the little girl sees the one zombie tackle the man on the waiting platform
outside.
So the reason it didn't catch her as quickly is because she had it tied off. So it spreads within seconds. If you get if a zombie bites a passenger in the neck, they change within 10 seconds.
Yeah. Down and then up.
Yes.
Yeah. So are the zombies actually dead then? I mean,
I would say yes. Yeah, I think it kills the brain, at least. Like, all sort of thought, because we see a lot of them break themselves to the point where you would be dead, and they still get up and continue.
Well, at the very least, they don't feel pain or don't care.
No.
And they don't seem to want to eat anybody.
No, they don't eat. They want to turn or destroy. It's assimilate. Assimilate was the word that we'd used when we were talking about it the other day. Assimilate.
Actually, I didn't notice that until you mentioned it. They don't actually eat anyone, do they?
Nope.
No, they just want to assimilate, and then that's it. That's the way it seems.
Strange.
Yeah, no, there's no zombies eating people in this film that I can remember at all. They basically turn somebody and then immediately move on to the next, and then the next, and then the next, and then if they lose sight of you, they goldfish.
Well, I guess if you turn that quickly, they wouldn't have the opportunity to eat you, would they? Unless they were eating other zombies.
I suppose so.
But this is the thing, we see large swaths of them, and they just stand there.
Mm.
They're not even really moving. They're just still.
Yeah, for the most part, they don't wander around or look around or anything.
Like when they make their first stop, and they think that the military base is there, and they're coming down the escalator, and then they see them all, but they're not moving. They're just standing there.
Just waiting for something to
waiting for something to happen. Yeah, it very much appears to be just assimilate.
Interesting. So, so the young girl gets on the train with the bite, and someone goes to help her, which I think is a mistake.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we've all learned a lesson from this. If you see someone passed out on a train, push them off just in case they're a zombie.
Especially if they're a woman.
Yeah, don't take the chance.
Yeah, no. Women will claim you raped them. And
they play dead.
worst playing of dead ever.
I'm not sure what's funny about that, but
I'm sorry, serious, somber.
Yes, this is very
Wait, are
serious.
you correcting me?
Women play dead.
Demonetized. Good job.
Oh,
I've been demonetized anyway. I've noticed that I've automatically my main channel's been demonetized. Not that
before you even tried. Just
not that I ever put ads on videos anyway, because I didn't really see the point. Yeah, good old YouTube. Anyway, so the zombie virus spreads pretty quickly throughout the first carriage.
Oh yeah,
like minutes. It's
it is, and we get that nice effect, that bowl over where they all sort of could clash in the middle of the car and fall all over each other.
And of course, people don't understand what's happening, so they're trying to help people, and that gets them bit. And it's like a domino effect, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, and it happens really quickly. Like it goes from that one woman to probably 30 people in the span of 4 minutes.
Which is
a couple train cars too.
Yeah. A good chunk of the baseball team doesn't make it through this first encounter with zombies. We get to meet bitchy CEO man who's super important, too important for the zombie apocalypse. And
business asshole, I think, is what I refer.
Yeah. That works.
Okay, so there's dad, little girl, business asshole,
cheerleader, baseball team,
homeless man.
Oh, homeless man. Yeah, we forgot about the homeless guy.
We met Hercules at this point, or we should be.
Yeah, Hercules and pregnant Hercules.
Hercules and his pregnant wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
His very pregnant wife, like 8 months pregnant.
Yeah. And the two grandmas.
And the two grandmas, yes. The elderly ladies. And we have the hero, the fucking hero of this movie. How dare we forget the train operator?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, he is a goddamn hero.
Yeah, save for communicating with them once. I don't think he even knows if anybody's alive or not.
No, but he doesn't stop. Oh wait, no, they can speak to him. There's a couple of employees alive. They've got walkies, and there is speakers throughout the train that allow you to talk to the conductor. So he does know that there are some people alive back there.
Yeah.
Although all he gets is yelled at by a business asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
He works for the train company.
A business asshole, yes.
Yeah.
He owns it, as far as if I remember correctly. And So they get to their first stop where they think there is a military base waiting for them.
Well, hold on. Before that, there's a little bit of a disagreement between Hercules and the main character, the dad.
Oh,
He shuts the door on Hercules and the pregnant.
oh yes, he does. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
he does. He shuts the door on an 8-month-old pregnant lady and her husband because they were too slow. To be fair, he lets them in. He immediately feels bad and then lets them in.
Yeah, but I can't totally blame him for that. I mean, if you're in a panic in that situation,
yeah, then they could be infected.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, he came to his senses pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
But
Hercules
didn't really forgive him for a while.
I love the language that they weren't even afraid to swear around his 6-year-old daughter.
6 I think she's 8, but
you gotta go. There's a pregnant woman taking a piss. That still makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Go to the next bathroom. There's a pregnant woman taking a piss.
Yeah.
to the 6-year-old. Okay.
Yes. Awfully specific.
Yeah. Korean Hercules is probably my favorite character.
Yeah, he's kind of blunt and relatable, isn't he?
He really is. He says what we're all thinking as a viewer.
I guess that's why the character's there to
probably comedic relief a little, maybe.
Yeah, yep, that too.
Yeah, he does a good job. He makes me laugh a lot.
Not that it saves him.
No, that comes quite a bit later, but
yeah. Everybody dies.
So before they get to the first stop, half the train's basically overrun with zombies, and there's a couple of carriages with people,
with real living people they yes, and this is where we figure out that they're goldfish. They are attacking the car doors in between where the regular people are, of course, and they sort of paper mache the window so that the zombies can no longer see them, and they immediately lose interest.
Yeah, and the zombies can't figure out how to open the door, even though it's a sliding door.
Yeah, well, it's unlocked.
It's a mechanical door. That little handle, if they turned it, it opens the door automatically.
Well, I guess if they just touch it or just kind of pull, yeah, but
they have to pull on it. They're goldfish.
Yeah.
So they just made them a nice fishbowl. Fishbowl full of zombie people.
So they get the good news. The people on the train get the good news that the next station is safe, and the military's there, and they've got control of the situation. And that's where the movie ends. No, it doesn't.
No.
So they turn up, and things aren't what they originally think they are. As you said earlier,
it's very quiet. There's no people around.
I think at that point I would have been waiting on the train saying, "Come back and tell me when you know it's safe." I don't think.
Don and I were talking about that. I wouldn't have gotten off the fucking train.
No, fuck that. There's
quiet. If there weren't armed soldiers waiting for me at that train station, there's no way I'd get off that train.
Yeah, exactly.
Quiet's no good.
Yeah.
No.
Quiet's not good.
But they all venture out anyway. Every last one of them.
And they do find like barricades covered in blood, because that's not a red flag at all. And the dad.
Well, no, when you see that, you should keep going.
Oh well, yeah,
because,
of course.
Things can only get better from here.
Yeah, that's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
the blood's a good sign. It means it's healing.
Yeah. That's right. And look, the bleeding stopped. That's good. Now it can scab and.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But the dad gets a little tip on the train, because there are still some people alive outside of this train. Obviously, that hasn't overrun the entire country quite yet. And he gets a little tip that he's got a buddy who's going to get him and his daughter out. and so
Yeah, he's
they
on his cell phone. Yeah. I think.
yes,
Or
and
was it Marie? Oh, it was.
it was a cell phone, and homeless man overhears the conversation. He's like, "I'm following you because fuck you. You're gonna abandon all of us and go and save yourself and your daughter." So the movie does a pretty good job of painting the dad as a I only care about myself, me and mine, and it made me a little sad because she's a little upset about abandoning all those people to possible death.
You know,
but if the military had taken over everything and hadn't turned into zombies, the other people should have been safe. So
they
it's
would have
not
been
like,
quarantined.
yeah, it's not like he was sending them to their death or anything.
No, but it was selfish on not bringing.
He had an 8-year-old to look
Yes.
out for, so I can.
I was just going to
True.
say. I mean, I don't entirely disagree with him. He did have a
I
small
don't
child.
either. I don't either.
Ooh.
It's just her. She's heartbroken. That makes me feel bad.
Well, of course she has an empathetic nature. That's okay. But at the same time, she's 8, and she is his responsibility, and
yes.
so him looking out for her above anybody else is definitely what he should have done.
Yeah, super dad. You should. Yeah,
You
should.
could very well say, oh, there's 30 other people who I don't really know, but can we squeeze them in too?
Yeah.
I'm sure no one will notice that
When he
there's
had to
in
beg
quarantine.
just to get her and him in there to begin.
Yeah.
But as we said earlier, Korean Hercules is kind of the comedic relief for what the audience is thinking. I think the daughter is in a way too, because as the viewer, what's probably gonna happen to those people. So like
it's
if
true.
If you're not a complete sociopath, it's like, oh well, at the very least, you're gonna think, oh well, that's kind of awful.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, from the outside looking in, it's easy to do that, right?
Yeah, unless you figure there's going to be an hour's worth of end credits. It's pretty clear that the movie's not going to end there with a happy ending.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
So
actually, shit hits the fan pretty much at the same time for both groups, both the dad, the daughter, and homeless man, and the larger group who went off following the barricades towards what they think is a military base.
Yeah, once again, the station is deserted, or it appears to be deserted.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Why are you
there's
just
nobody
walking through it?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's so stupid.
There's the only thing that is there is evidence of death.
Yeah.
And lost battles.
To be fair, there are not bodies laying all over the place either.
No, because they're up walking around. That's why.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah. I mean, you would think one of them would have put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. They actually say the word zombie in this movie, by the way.
They do, actually. Yeah,
they are zombies.
A lot of zombie movies don't like to use that word.
Yeah, they like to pretend that the world doesn't know what a zombie is. I think it's for the sake of, how would we not know how to deal with it? But it is because it spreads so fast. That's the only thing that makes it somewhat believable. Because it's so quick.
I think it's the quickest.
Yeah, it is.
Just as an aside of any zombie movie I've seen, I think it's the absolute fastest.
28 Days Later
is not nearly as quick on screen anyway.
It's pretty fast. So when he gets the blood in his eye,
yeah,
that happens pretty much immediately. It's close.
That's true.
It's not. It doesn't spread as fast from a bite though, like it does in Train to Busan. It's fast. And as we find out later, the whole country hasn't gone to hell. There is a military base that's still up and running.
Spoilers.
Oh God!
Really?
Sorry. Shit! Did you not finish the movie?
Yeah, I finished it twice actually. But anyway,
anyway, so they're coming down the escalator.
Yeah, and they're obviously thinking that all the military have just gone to lunch at the same time. Yeah. No one's around. They must have all taken a lunch break.
I mean, we'll catch them, and
Yeah, what could go wrong
from there?
Really.
this scene actually makes me it gives me the heebies because as they're coming down the escalator, more and more of the zombies notice them.
Yeah, just a couple at a time.
Yeah, just like one row at a time. So they
Yeah.
come at them in little waves, just like a dozen at a time. And then obviously they get triggered by the noise, and then they all start, you know.
But we should explain that the zombies are in a big group at the bottom of the escalator with their backs turned to the escalator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just standing there, you know.
Part of me
not
wonders,
looking around or anything, just
standing there. Part of me wonders if nobody had reacted and they'd stayed silent, if they could have gotten away without triggering them all.
I don't think so. They seem to react to anything that isn't them. That's why it seems they just want to assimilate.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, though. You'd have to have at least one person panic.
Exactly. But how do they distinguish? That's something we couldn't quite pinpoint. We thought maybe it was scent, possibly.
I mean, it could be, but the human nose doesn't really work in that way for the most part.
We don't know what the virus does to your chemical makeup because it fucks you up, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell on sight if somebody's infected or not. There must be a way they detect each other.
Well, you kind of can because of all the dead eyes and the veins everywhere.
And the shamblings. They run too. Fuck, they're not slow.
No, even when they have their bones broken or their legs broken,
they're still get up and run at you. Arms all flopping.
So suddenly there's a mass panic in the station because zombies are everywhere and the people are trying to get back to the train.
Mm-hmm. And then
they brutally left.
Yes. Then we have little girl in immediate danger because the soldier that Daddy finds is a zombie, and there are now zombies all over the lobby they just came from, and instance away from death, in swoops Korean Hercules to the rescue, and I think he immediately feels very bad for abandoning his group of non-zombie other humans.
Well, yeah, his daughter almost died, so
there's some safety in remaining within a group in a situation like that, dumbass.
Yeah, unless the group's making shitty choices, though.
Yeah, it's true. Well, anyways, they managed to get everybody, but about half. I was gonna say a small handful of the people in the original group, and Dad's getting bombarded and attacked by a zombie, and instead of abandoning him, again, Korean Hercules to the rescue, allows him to get out behind some glass doors. There's how many of those baseball boys are still left? 4
or 5.
Yeah, there's 5, including the female cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah, they've taken quite a few of the zombies out at this point, or at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've taken about half of that team. Half the baseball team's gone. they went out in the first round. And okay, so they're obviously all trying to run back to the train, and the superhero, the train operator's trying to get the train going, but he won't leave until everybody who's still okay gets back to the train, much to the chagrin.
He's hoping that more people are okay.
Yes.
Or does do they don't have a radio, do they?
The one employee still has a radio. The one guy who's still alive, who's all up in business asshole.
Yeah.
They become butt buddies for a little while, inseparable, because he has the radio.
Doesn't work out too well for him, though, does it?
No, I would say not.
No,
I would say not. That's not the kind of person you want to chum up with in a crisis, because he definitely gonna kill you to save himself.
or something. I mean, spoilers.
We gotta stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, did we mention that there might be spoilers in this?
I'm really sorry. I keep fucking up, you guys. Oh shit.
We should have mentioned that sooner.
Yeah. Oh well.
I'm just fucking everything up.
But I guess that's one of the dilemmas for the train operator. Do you leave now and save the people which are on the train, or do you wait and put those people that are already safe at further risk?
Well, he can see them. He can see.
There's zombies everywhere too.
Yes, actually, there's some fun things that happen. There's you know how airports often have those glass pedestrian overpasses. They all come fucking spilling out of one of those, which is
it takes a little while for the glass to break, but once they do,
same with the glass doors.
Yeah, it's just like they're like liquid. They just fall all over each other. It's just there's a liquid zombie.
Now, I have to ask, why doesn't this train station have zombie-proof glass windows and doors?
Pretty upsetting, actually. Korea, get your shit together.
Obviously, someone skimped when they were constructing the place.
Who needs that?
They were waiting to see if the accident would happen first before they invested the money. You see?
Okay.
Oh, now I'm sad about that.
Yeah, it's like a crosswalk. You know, they won't put a crosswalk in until somebody gets hit by a car, and then immediately they're like, "Holy shit!"
You should probably put a crosswalk there. Now I'm real life sad.
So the handful of survivors make it back to the train, but they don't all get on the same carriage.
No, we've got pregnant lady, elderly lady, homeless man, and a little girl. So the four of them in a toilet on car 13. And then in is cheerleader with them? No, she's with the main group, right? Because they break her phone and act like assholes later. And then we have Korean Hercules, the last baseball boy, and the dad. So, of course, the dad and Korean Hercules want to save their pregnant wife and daughter. And baseball boy's just along for the ride because he's fucked without them. So they're in car 9, and they have to get from car 9 to car 13.
And luckily, he's got like a bag full of I don't know what you describe it as, leather strips, I guess. What exactly were they used for?
They're for like wrestling and stuff.
It's a baseball team.
Well, it's for wrestling in the change room.
Oh, okay.
Is it grips? Actually,
something like that. Yeah,
baseball grips.
They use there's that, and they use tape and stuff too. So
they got duct tape and they got belts. They got stuff to protect their forearms from bites. We get like a superhero walk. It's
that's one issue I have with a lot of zombie movies is that people don't protect themselves more when it comes to.
Yeah, you think you would want to?
Yeah, they know that the bite turns them. But they won't even cover their arms or their neck with a sweater or
leather
anything.
Jacket.
Yeah,
fucking leather jackets and biker gear would be really helpful.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I remember seeing Dawn of the Dead, the remake, was it about 14 years ago? And they're in a shopping mall, and at the end they go to all the hassle of fixing up the van to get out, but none of them go to like a leather shop or anything and get a leather jacket. I walked out of the theater going, a leather jacket would protect your arms,
Yeah, no, but then they wouldn't. Not enough people would die.
Yeah, I know. But let me give you a tip. If you're ever caught in a zombie apocalypse, one of the first shops you want to go to is a bike shop, like a motorbike shop.
Your local Harley store.
Yeah, exactly. You get some Kevlar pants and a Kevlar jacket.
Not assless chaps.
No, I don't know if that would work, but
I mean, we wouldn't protect your ass, but who needs that?
No,
Well,
but yeah, good luck for a zombie biting through Kevlar, right? So,
Exactly. Human teeth cannot penetrate leather.
and you probably want a cup as well for your cock because you don't want to get bit on the cock by a zombie.
Oh, who needs that?
No, that'd be a bad way to go out, I think.
How fast do you think it would travel? If you got an erection, would it hold all the blood in there so you wouldn't get infected?
they have to tie that off right quick. Holy.
Suture your dick.
And then you have to decide
awful.
what you want to. Well, yeah. Then you have to decide what you want to live without. Oh well, I tied it off in time. Now what?
Do I cut it off or do I just kill my fucking self? I don't want to live in a world that's cockless.
That
a cockless world is no way to live.
It would be a hard choice.
Of course it would. Of course it would. There's one fatal flaw in here. There's one fatal flaw in here because Korean Hercules punches the fuck out of these zombies, punches them to death.
Yes, with his bare fists.
And yet, bare fists, bloody knuckles doesn't get infected.
Yeah.
That bothered me. He did not take his knuckles when he's gonna go and
too, but only for a second because honestly, watching him beat the shit out of these zombies was a lot of fun. It was a good part of the movie.
It is so satisfying.
Is this before or after they find out that the zombies are essentially allergic to dark and they can use the tunnels to their advantage?
It's just before. Okay. They punch their way through the one car, and it's hard. And then they got to go through like 4 fucking more.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous when you explain it, but it's not as ridiculous as it sounds when you watch the movie.
I'm betting that there's somebody's clipped it out on YouTube. If you only watch one scene, just watch them fucking beat their way through a train
just
car
search
full of zombies.
Train to Busan like train fight scene or something. I'm sure it'll come up.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. So then they get to the next car. They're all already bag tired, beating their way through one car of zombies. And they go through a tunnel. And I don't think it's so much the dark as it is the flashing lights.
Yeah, the tunnel lights, maybe.
The tunnel lights. Yeah, well, yeah, because it makes very obvious close-up shot of light, close-up shot of zombie eye, close-up shot of light.
It overwhelms them. It dazzles them.
Yeah, they can't really see when they're sensory overload.
That reminds me, actually, there was a recent zombie movie set in Australia. I think it was on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it.
Is that the one you sent me a while ago?
No,
I watched. Okay.
No. That was a bad comedy. This was a more serious one. It had
Andy Couture. That was awesome.
It had the guy from The Office who played. He was in the Hobbit. What's his name?
Bilbo Baggins.
Well,
that's it's close enough.
I know who you're talking about, though. I obviously his face. No. That was Smog.
Oh, that was Smog. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
what's the other one?
Yeah,
it was a zombie movie set in Australia. He has a small child with him, and the zombies in that they like to stick their heads in holes in the ground, and they go quiet, like they don't move.
Like ostriches?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's a good movie. But also in the dark, they don't move in the dark, so there's a bit where they're walking through a tunnel and all the zombies are just quiet, just standing there.
Oh man, of course the fucking Australian zombies are just giant violent birds. Fucking Attack of the Ostrich Zombies.
It wasn't a bad movie. I can't remember. I'll find the name of it before the end of the hangout.
Yeah, it's gonna bother you now if you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get sensory overload when they go in the tunnels from the flashing lights in the dark, and they use this to their advantage to worm their way through to rescue the small group that's trapped at the other end. Now, the main group, which includes Business Asshole and Cheerleader and a bunch of the other people who managed to stay alive, are how many cars over? Just like one or two?
One or two, yeah.
One or two, not many. So they don't have too many left, but they've got to get an elderly woman, a very pregnant woman, and a small child through 2 cars full of fucking zombies.
Yeah, I think they have to go from 9 to 13 or something like that.
9 to 13 is to get to them. So they're in car 13 now. And they got to go a couple more to get to the main group. Because Cheerleader is texting with Baseball Boy to tell him where they are.
By the way, that movie is called Cargo.
There you go. Ostrich.
Cargo, is that what that? I've seen trailers for that. Yeah, it's about that guy Mick with his daughter.
I got some bingos.
No.
They see Crocodile Dundee on the way. He's turned into a zombie.
In Australia, the zombies don't just kill you; they box you first.
You guys are terrible. I don't know why I must tell through this.
That was the best Australian accent ever.
You reckon?
That was pretty fucking awful, actually.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Don't let him tell you any different. That's what they really sound like.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, we're not from Minnesota.
Oh, we don't all say that, eh? You just...
No,
You're barking up the wrong eucalyptus tree. You just move right along there.
You're gonna get chlamydia if you touch the eucalyptus.
That's where the zombies come from.
The zombies come from the koala chlamydia.
Yep, that's how it spreads.
Oh, and I thought koalas were cute, but they're the devil.
They can be, yeah. Yeah.
You can stop them from biting you if you rub their ears.
now I just want an armload of koalas. Just I'll get the chlamydia. It's fine. They can treat that one, right? That's not permanent.
Well, I'm not sure if my Mr. Fantastic arms can reach far enough to get this segue out of the way, but
we got a little off track.
Let's go back to the zombie.
The zombie train. Get back on track.
So anyway,
yeah, I mean, it's been a really good day so far, but now I.
Oh, that was good.
So they're trying to get to the car with Business Asshole and the other
Business Asshole in the main group.
Yeah, and I can kind of understand why the main group doesn't want to let them in because they don't know who's been bitten or potentially infected.
Yeah, they don't even know how it really spreads yet.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's airborne. They don't know if you just have to touch one of them. So yeah, I don't entirely.
They are covered in blood too, so
exactly. I don't entirely blame them for this either.
Me neither. So, I mean, it sucks that there's clearly a small child and a very pregnant lady on the other side of that door. But woman. But at the same time, I can't entirely blame them for doing what they did. I can, however, blame Business Asshole for being a complete asshole. And
God, he's an actual monster, this man.
Not even trying to have a dialogue with these people through a closed door.
No, not even at least make the offer. Okay, you can't stay with us because we don't know if you're infected, but you're obviously sound of mind enough. You can go to the next car. No, there's nothing. There's just let's watch them die.
And the movie did point out that he was an asshole before the zombie outbreak. So
yes, we are well aware that he's an asshole.
So it's not just because he's panicking and it's a tough situation. He's an asshole anyway.
Yeah.
He is. The other people I can definitely cut them some slack.
So he uses their fear. He uses their fear to weaponize them and get them to help him survive, basically. This is the end goal there.
Yeah,
And,
so the we'll call it the safe car doesn't
Yeah.
want to let in the people who have just fought their way throughout the train to try to get to the safe car because, well, they don't know. They don't know if they're infected or not.
Mhm. So we've got Hercules and the dad holding the zombies back via one of the other car doors.
The adjacent
And
door on the other side of the.
Yeah, on the other side of the car. And Baseball Boy and Homeless Man are trying to pry the door to the safe car open. And inside this car, we have elderly lady's sister and the cheerleader, and they end up trying to help get the door open from the other side. And in the meantime, Korean Hercules gets bitten, trying to hold the door closed.
It was sad.
His very pregnant wife sees it happen.
Yeah.
I cry every time.
a very cool scene when the zombie kind of woke up and just shot up like an elevator.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very cool.
She's trapped at the very bottom of the pile of zombies, but her head is completely through the door. And he does a dumb thing and tries to get a better grip on the door to keep it closed better because they're trying to get the fuck in. And she zooms up from the floor right up into his hand. And it happens fast. She's quick. She's quick. And we've seen, it's not even unrealistic in this world because we've seen a lot of them roll on their shoulders and get up without even touching the floor.
Yeah, they move with no regard to their own bodies. So
no, they're just, I gotta get up. I'm up now. Oh, my fucking arms.
Yeah, and his dialogue with the dad is really, really awesome too, because he basically says, I don't know how much longer I can hold on. And then he says, I'm getting tired. And I guess the viewer knows what that means because he shakes his head a couple times really quickly and tries to shake it off.
Yeah, he takes a while to turn though, unlike the others.
Well, yeah, he's running on adrenaline. I think
he's running on adrenaline. He was fighting it. I think you can fight it for maybe a 30 seconds or a minute, maybe, depending on where you get bitten.
And I think the just the sight of his very pregnant wife.
Yeah, that's why he said he was getting tired. That's what he meant by that.
Are you saying love defeats the zombie virus?
Yeah, I wish it did, because then he'd still be alive.
Well, it would have to be an anime for that to work.
Yeah, they didn't have the right hair. The spiky combed over anime hair.
Yeah.
So anyway, last surviving baseball boy beats his way through the glass window.
The dad helps him rip the door open because he can't beat through the window. Can he? Or does he break that one? He breaks that one.
Window, yeah,
he breaks that one. And then the three of them all together. But by this time, as soon as that door opens, so does the door that Hercules man was trying to keep closed.
Yeah, he gets overwhelmed.
He gets overwhelmed immediately. And they manage to get inside the safe car. Everybody except elderly lady who has her sister watch her because she try to hurry along the little girl.
Yeah.
She gets sucked into the zombie void before they manage
she sacrifices herself so the others can get away. So
yeah. And then we have the confrontation with business asshole. Dad punches him in the face. They tell them all to get out.
I love the bit where business asshole goes, "Look at his eyes. He's turned. He's been bitten."
Oh, fuck yeah!
Nobody buys that, at least.
Oh, I think they're a bit panicky, So.
Yeah, panicky for sure, but I don't think anybody believed that they'd actually turned. Maybe infected, but if he'd turned, they'd know it.
Yeah. But I mean, the fear was that he could turn at any moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they shoo them all out, and Cheerleader goes with them because she had an ordeal trying to get her boyfriend into the safe car, and they wouldn't let her. So she goes with them into the next car down.
Yep. So we've got all the main characters off into one car except for business asshole and the second little old lady.
And
Yeah.
the train employee, the one surviving train employee. And little old lady, second little old lady's kind of in a daze. And she moseys over to the door that's now holding back all the zombies from what was the safe car.
Yeah, after asking her sister why she would do such a stupid thing.
Yeah. Why do you always have to help everybody?
Yeah.
Also, just makes me cry every time.
Yeah, so she decides to kill everyone by opening the door.
She just opens the fucking door.
Like,
And with that,
right
everybody's
after
fucking
they
in.
tied the other safe door closed.
Yeah,
So
they tied the main characters out in their own car because
with T-shirts and various other things.
Yes.
Which was a good choice, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They were totally safe. They weren't going anywhere. So they've all been assimilated, as far as we're aware, anyway. Until we get a nice pan shot of business asshole and lone train employee
Flunky.
in the huh?
The flunky.
The flunky.
The flunky.
Yes. Holed up in the bathroom of that car. So they survived the onslaught, the assimilation.
Yeah.
And I gotta mention, Dad's got a blood-stained shirt, and it looks like a broken heart. And I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it's just a very cool coincidence.
Yeah, we had decided that it probably wasn't on purpose, but
yeah, it would have been cool if it was. But I think it's just, the way your chest would imprint on somebody that you pushed up against who was covered in blood.
Yeah, I mean that's all happened to us. So.
Oh yeah, we all know. We all know that
Yep.
So, and his daughter having their part in the now new safe train car.
And it's around this point that we get to the next station, isn't it? So.
Yes, there is a train blocking the tracks, so they get stopped.
And then some. This train station is a fucking mess.
Oh yeah, there's fucking train parts everywhere, just shit. So we get to hear from our hero again, the train operator, who now doesn't know if anybody's still alive on the train. Now there's no contact with anybody. And he makes an announcement that says there's a train blocking the track, and I'm going to go to the leftmost track because it's the only clear one, and get a train going. And if you're still alive, get to me if you can. And I think he says depart safely or transfer safely. It made me laugh.
Yeah, please transfer safely. It's the shtick. It's his script, what he's supposed to read as a train operator.
Yeah. It's funny now, but when you're watching it, it's a little heartbreaking.
It is. Yeah. It's pretty well written, actually. So,
he truly is a hero, that man.
So our survivors have to make their way across the train yard, which is littered with trains and zombies and all kinds of...
Well, no, there's no zombies that they can see.
Aren't there zombies inside the train?
In the trains, yeah.
But they can't see those. We don't see those either. It looks like a ghost town. We don't see zombies until
later, I guess.
Yeah, a train asshole.
And as we know, if everything's perfectly quiet, then it must be safe.
Totally. Okay, we gotta ask you a question, Bane. Why the fuck didn't they go under the trains?
That's a good point.
There's like feet. You fit a three.
This really irritated you, didn't it?
It really did. You could fit a 300-pound fucking woman under these trains. Okay? And they go, oh no, we're gonna open the fucking doors and try to go through them.
Well, the Koreans are very polite and they've been told not to go under.
Not to get dirty.
Not to get dirty, not to go under the trains. That's not allowed. Against the rules. And,
one of the only other very irritating...
Someone might get a stern talking to.
Yeah, no, you're going to get in big trouble if you...
nobody wants to get a stern talking to. So.
So, business asshole hears this announcement as well because it plays through the whole train. And he peeks out of the bathroom and sees that there are fucking zombies right there. And turns to his buddy, his little pal, and goes, "Oh yeah, the coast is clear." And when he goes to exit, shoves him out the fucking door, and then basically uses him as a meat shield to distract the zombies.
Yeah, this is when arsehole really, really does shine as the asshole.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and also he doesn't close the fucking door. How goddamn rude. So
yeah, I noticed that. I thought, yeah, it would be smart to close the doors behind him, but he just kind of runs and leaves the doors open so zombies can get out, which
it would have been in his best interest.
Yeah, exactly.
To close the fucking doors. But I guess when your only mind is I gotta get away, maybe he couldn't tell how close behind them he was. He just wants to live. But yes, he lets a nice slew of zombies out.
But if they're close enough behind you that it's a danger to shut the door, then they're close enough behind you to grab you if you don't shut the door.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
They don't go under the fucking train cars. They're going through them. They're not closing the fucking doors. Chaos.
There could be spiders under those trains. Come on.
Yeah, well, you gotta risk the. Well, they're not from Australia. The spiders aren't going to kill them. I don't know. They're really poisonous spiders in Korea.
There probably are.
Danger.
But they don't box you, so.
Oh fuck! So, in comes an oncoming train. Of course it does, right?
A flaming
oncoming train that strikes another train that's on the tracks, knocks it on top of homeless man, pregnant lady, little girl, and the dad, separating them from baseball boy and cheerleader.
Who think that the others are now dead?
Yes, they saw the train flip over on top of them. I would assume that they're also dead.
Yep.
And that's when they have a bad day and run into business asshole.
Yeah, who once again leaves the door open when he gets into the train.
He leaves the fucking door open and he throws cheerleader into the zombies.
There was no need for that, really.
Because of course he does. No, there wasn't. They were all going out the fucking door. They could have just all gone together, but no. I guess if there's bodies behind you, it'll slow them down for a second.
Yeah. But the long story short, cheerleader gets bitten and baseball boyfriend has a 10-second farewell, I guess.
Oh yes, he holds her while she dies. It's beautiful and terrible
until he gets his throat ripped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assimilate. They stay assimilated together.
How romantic.
Yeah.
It's really a love story.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we cut back. We cut back to who we think was dead, but are not. They're just trapped under a fucking train car full of zombies.
I hate it when it happens.
Yeah. It's homeless man, the dad, the little girl, and pregnant lady, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And they can see that the glass is breaking and all the zombies are about to fucking tumble out. And dad sees a little hole. He climbs through it and of course, shrapnel. Shrapnel falls and blocks said hole. Can't get his daughter, can't get pregnant lady out. Glass is breaking. Homeless man's looking at them like, oh fuck. I made it all this way and I have to save the pregnant lady and the child.
Yeah, he makes a pretty quick decision.
Yeah.
Yep. So he sacrifices himself.
Mm-hmm. And dad gets mama bear strength and manages to move the shrapnel, but not before homeless man gets smothered in the zombies. It's the only way to describe it is smothering. But then once they're out
zombies.
Drowned in zombies. But once they get out, the train car falls, so they kind of all get crushed, I think.
Mm.
It finishes like squishing them.
Meanwhile, Asshole is making his way to the new train.
And he's a little slow. So the goddamn hero of the movie, the fucking train operator, climbs down and goes to help him. And what does business asshole do?
Throws him to the zombies.
Throws him to the fucking zombies. The train is still moving, by the way.
Yeah.
It didn't help him get there any faster.
But Asshole does get bit at that point, doesn't he?
He does, but we don't know that yet. Spoilers. Fuck. Now it's your fault.
He doesn't turn straight away, though. It takes a little while with him.
It does.
For some reason. Dramatic effect, I guess.
Dramatic effect. It would actually he sort of turns different than the rest of them too.
There.
Yeah, there's like some of his mind left. Makes me wonder if he's just super fucking healthy.
Yeah, a little bit of dementia, like.
Yeah, he doesn't really know where he is. But we get one of the coolest scenes, I think, in this movie. Pregnant lady, tiny child, dad booking it for the moving train car. And we get that fun, everybody, all the zombies come and converge on one another, and we get that wave, the zombie wave again, but it's big this time, huge outside, hundreds just balling over each other.
500 in one shot, an overhead shot. It's pretty awesome.
It's super cool. And then one of them manages to grab the back of the train after they've caught it, and then one of them grabs onto that zombie, and then another, and then another. And now there's like 500 or 600 zombies being dragged by this one train car.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that, I thought, wouldn't the zombie holding onto the train car rip in half?
Well, no, there was a handful of them holding on at that point. They
were all kind of climbing over each other and grabbing on at the same time in a couple of the shots.
And they were all spread out too, so like their body weight was dispersed a little bit along the back of the train.
If there was enough weight to slow down a train.
Then, there was a lot of them.
Yeah, but surely the weakest link would be the ones hanging onto the train.
Definitely.
That's I'm sure they'd rip in half, or they'd, you know.
Well, no, not if they're being half grabbed onto by another zombie immediately behind them, and then another one, and then another one. Like, I think a lot of people could effectively hang off of each other if the weight was dispersed enough.
Yeah, but also, at some point you've got the weakest link, which is those who are hanging onto the train.
Yeah, I mean, this scene doesn't happen for long, though.
Yeah.
It's probably 30
seconds. It's only a minor criticism, but yeah.
Well, I mean, let's all try to rationalize the everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
I mean, this has all happened to us on the way to work or the store.
All the zombies hold on to the back of the fucking train, slow it down. It's annoying. You're late for work. Spill your coffee. Oh.
We don't need to rationalize it. We just need to accept it.
Yes. But I like it because it starts becoming a real threat when they start walking over each other and jumping at the train. And they manage to free themselves, and then the zombies immediately lose interest. Like the slight dust cloud created by dragging so many of them, they completely lose interest and stop chasing the train.
Yeah, they just kind of look at the dust cloud for a second, and then
okay, and then it's stand. They don't even shamble. They are non-shamblers. They're standers. They stand until they notice you, and then they run.
So we now have terrifying. All the remaining characters on a train engine. It's just the engine we should.
Yes, it's only the engine.
And this
it's not even like it's like a maintenance car.
No, it's an engine.
No, it's a maintenance car. The engine in those trains look like big bullets, like the front of an airplane.
It's a diesel engine. It's for pulling cargo, I think.
Yeah, it's an older style thing. It's not. I don't think it's what pulls the passenger trains. But
it's like a maintenance car.
It is. Well, it is an engine though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah.
No,
we're nitpicking the shit out of stuff now.
It's not a maintenance car. It's a cargo engine. It's a big diesel engine.
Yeah, for maintenance.
Not for maintenance. For pulling cargo trains. Those things go for miles. Haven't you ever seen a cargo train go by?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Bloody
thousands of cars.
Sometimes they got two of those engines on them.
Well, usually they have one on each end, so they can.
Yeah, they do that too sometimes.
Anyways, they're on the engine. They're on the fucking engine. There's 4 of them.
Well, it's a big, powerful thing. That should be able to go through anything, really.
Oh yeah. I mean, it totally one of them.
You got a lot of horsepower in that thing.
Yeah, well, it didn't stop. It just slowed down because I mean those freaking long trains go pretty slow too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the more I know, obviously. So they get rid of them. Anyways, they're on their way, en route. Business asshole is in the cockpit. I'm an adult.
So there's a confrontation between asshole and dad.
Yeah.
In the cockpit.
No, he exits the cockpit. And dad goes, You've been bitten. And asshole looks mortified at himself. Realizes that it must be true. And then looks at dad and goes, I'm scared.
At this point, his eyes are grayed out, like all the other zombies are.
Yeah. He had just enough left in him to open the cockpit door. They tried to lock him in the cockpit, but there was still enough of his mind left to open that door. Of course there was.
If we're going to rationalize the bites and how long it takes to turn, I guess we could say that I guess it depends how much saliva gets into a wound.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That could be it.
How fast you're pumping it through your body.
And we didn't see it happen either. So I mean, it could have been a scratch, just a small.
I think we see the bite.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that, but
yeah, because the dad notices it and goes, "You've been bitten or you've been infected." Although that might have just been because he looked fucked up. So
maybe he didn't notice it.
Maybe
it's just a cognitive thing.
Yeah, maybe. It
spreads slower if you don't. You know, when you cut yourself and you look down, you don't even realize that you cut yourself until you see it, and then it
doesn't
hurts.
hurt. Yeah, it doesn't hurt until you look at it. Yeah.
Or maybe it spreads slower sometimes when the plot needs it to. So.
Well, yeah. Yes. I mean, there's that.
Stop ruining the illusion. Fuck.
But
we let reality in here. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, who invited reality? Everything.
So there's a fight between dad and the business asshole, and that's when dad does a very, very stupid thing.
Yeah. Dad
never put your hands in your zombie's mouth.
Yeah. Well, I think he did it on purpose at that point.
Really?
Yeah. Watch him. He thinks about it for a second. It goes, I don't have any other way, I don't think, to get leverage here. So I'm just going
to... You could have grabbed him by the hair.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Well, he would hate that business asshole didn't have much for hair.
It's better than putting your hand in a zombie's bloody mouth and getting bitten.
If you watch the scene again, he does think about it. There's thought there. It's not an accident. I think he does it on purpose.
Well, I mean, Bane, I guess the plot called for it.
It did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
It was a self-sacrifice.
Unfortunately.
It was a self-sacrifice thing. I have to get him off of the train or he's going to kill me and my daughter and this fucking huge pregnant woman. So, shoves fist into zombie mouth to push him off the train for some fucking reason.
So we're now down to 2 characters because the dad.
Well, 3. They're still,
Dad,
still...
yeah, dad gets bitten.
And we get to see him say goodbye to his screaming daughter.
Yep.
And teach pregnant lady how to stop the train. Because she couldn't figure out where the big red button was on her own.
She could be colorblind, you don't know.
Hey,
you know, it obviously it was done for dramatic effect, but it's pretty cool to see him kind of will his own last thoughts into existence.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't. Oh.
Yeah, like dramatically, it's actually quite good.
It really is. All his final memories just before he throws himself off of the train in order to save them. We get a nice little slideshow of the day that she was born. And I'm gonna cry now.
Oh.
I'm a baby. I'm okay with it.
Actually, I thought she was a fairly good child actor too. I mean, they're often they're shit or annoying.
Yeah, no, she was great.
To be blunt.
Yeah, often they're like, "Oh God, why do you have to have a kid be one of the main characters? Can't they just be in the background?"
You can't blame an 8-year-old for being a bad actor. But
no, just the writers need to be aware that an 8-year-old's not going to act very well. But
that's
no,
why
she
we need to hire more midgets as 8-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. They need to use too.
What was that? I missed that.
They need a use too.
They do. Pornhub.
I thought what I said was bad, and then you made it worse. Midgets only good to play children and porn stars.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, sometimes both.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna
shit beneath your.
No.
I found the bottom of the barrel.
Oh no. Okay. Good night, folks. It's been grand.
The pedophile joke done ruined everything. So they're not real. I didn't say the midgets had to be children. I said pretend.
Where's Amos?
Oh, wait, can you tell if a midget is a midget when they're a baby, or is this something that happens later?
Anyway, steering back to the movie.
I'm glad I made myself laugh because I was almost going to cry there. So.
Well, I mean, was he thinking the same thing in those flashbacks? Is she a midget or?
She was an awfully big midget by the time she was like a small child. She didn't have the big head and the small limbs.
Yes. Anyway, shortly after this, they finally do reach Busan. I believe that's what it is, isn't it?
Well, they reach a tunnel in Busan. They don't reach any kind of actual like train station.
And it's a good thing that Dad showed the pregnant lady how to stop the train because she promptly does so.
Never would have figured it out on her own. Super confusing. Big red button.
Yeah. It says stop in Korean.
It says emergency brake.
Yeah.
Never would have figured that shit out. Super confusing. Especially for a pregnant woman. Oh, fuck. Surprised she doesn't know how to walk still.
And red means emergency and or stop virtually anywhere in the world at all times. All things.
So
anyway,
I think
she stops the engine.
She does stop the engine, and I think the two of them get out of that train car expecting to just die, because it's again very quiet, no people. There's some barracks, leftover barracks. Oh, always a good sign. Leftover barracks.
There signs of life. There's a couple zombies that reach for them.
Oh yeah, in the barracks, trapped in the barbed wire. So there's some more movement than there was at the other places.
It's not nearly as safe, and they should turn back.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and of course, pregnant lady is is going into labor now. At least,
which was not predictable at all.
oh no, or at least she's having
You know what?
pains.
It actually was predictable throughout the entire movie, but they didn't do it. I'm really impressed.
Me
with
too.
That.
I'm so glad they
didn't. They didn't pull that on the train.
Because
Yeah,
I was
that's kind of the
prepared.
standard, isn't it? If you see a 9-month pregnant woman, she's going to give birth
You
at
just
some point.
expect her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna give birth to a completely clean baby, not covered in blood and pus.
You're going to have to hold the
It's
zombies off.
gonna take 30 seconds. She's gonna push twice, and there it is.
Just hold the zombies off.
No
for
blood
5 minutes
loss.
and give birth.
And then they're gonna have to deal with trying to keep the screaming baby from attracting the zombies for the rest of the movie.
Well, yeah, don't give it to business, asshole. He just throw the baby at the zombies.
a fucking foot, like a football.
It would be a
Yeah,
distraction.
how far you can throw it screaming. Actually, it would distract them. They're goldfish.
Yeah, you throw it up on top of one of the abandoned trains, and then all the zombies,
You know what?
all the zombies would just mass around it, and everyone else can escape.
All of this is in the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray. Just so everybody knows.
You know what? You know what business asshole needed? He needed a bag of kittens.
Oh yeah,
Just to throw at those fucking zombies.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah, bags of kittens. Puppies might be better. Which one makes more noise? Piglets.
Well,
but
Big bag of piglets.
But the piglets have to be dressed up as little characters. Like they have to have little suits or dresses.
Put pants on the piglets first. It's indecent otherwise. Throw those into the zombies.
We should set off some notes to.
We should write our own fucking movie.
Because they're making Train to Busan 2, aren't they? So
Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
We need to send them ideas for a script.
Yeah, we
Well,
should. Definitely.
If there was a contest, I think we've just won.
Bag of piglets dressed as Dickens characters.
Yeah.
Specifically Dickens characters. Any other characters are unacceptable.
If they don't know how to smoke a pipe, they're unacceptable.
You fucking super glue the pipes to the...
They have cloven hooves. If they can't smoke it, they don't go in the bag.
It could work.
It keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway,
Pregnant lady lost in labor, and tiny little crying girl shambling through a very, very dark tunnel.
We see soldiers at this point sniping them, who are ordered to kill them immediately.
Yes, they can't tell whether or not they're infected because they're kind of hobbling together down the...
So, I don't agree
really
with their... Yeah.
So he takes aim, and then we hear the little girl singing, floating up through the tunnel.
Aloha.
Aloha, oi. Fuck.
Which I need to bring up is the song that she sang at her
little recital
her
that
music
her dad
recital.
missed. That she learned,
and she
learned
said
it just for him. Don't make me cry again.
yeah, and she was very upset she couldn't finish it in class because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she I guess she finally got to sing it for him.
Oh, I hate you.
And that'd be the best place to sing it too, in a dark tunnel where there could be zombies which are attracted to noise. That's what you want. An 8-year-old.
Like I said, I think they wandered into that tunnel prepared to die because it was very quiet.
Maybe. I think it might have been an act of desperation, but it did save their lives because immediately upon her singing, the soldiers ignored any order and just
they're survivors. They're survivors. We must go and save them. Swoop in to save little girl, very pregnant lady.
Yeah, and then the credits roll.
Yep. And I have to say, it's one of the better zombie movies I've seen.
Yeah, it was really, really well made. the script, the writing, the acting were all, for the most part, I would say they were all top notch. Like it was a really entertaining movie.
Yeah, there's no thing I can really pick apart that is a major fault.
I mean, there are some minor, as you've said, there are some like minor criticisms, but they're almost standard movie criticisms.
Yeah, you could make that with
just
about any movie, really.
Yeah, why the heck did they do this or that instead of this or that? That's really about it. It didn't even have that standard. Not to sound awful, but it didn't have that standard. Like, I guess I'm looking at it from the outside in, but it didn't have that standard Asian overacting. I'm not sure if you know what I mean by that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I do, yeah.
It didn't anywhere throughout. It was just Korean people being Korean. It was the dramatic effect. I mean, all films do that. Like
there was one character, I'm betting you both know who I'm talking about, that did the overacting thing, and it was Korean cheerleader. A couple of times she did the way overact. It mostly in the very beginning of the film. They
cry and then throw herself into the arms of the male character.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. A couple of times it's like soap opera levels of acting.
Well,
these are teenage Asian girls really act. I mean, I don't know, but
maybe it's possible. It's just a culture shock to us.
It's the way we see them in most movies and TV shows. So,
maybe that's why I call it. That's why I just called it that standard Asian overacting. It's almost an ignorance thing on my part, because I don't live there. I don't.
Japan does it way more.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed it far more in Japanese film. I mean, Chinese a little bit.
They do, but soap operas are also massive in Japan.
Yeah,
massive.
But yeah,
bigger than Days of Our Lives has ever been to our grandmothers and mothers.
Oh fuck! I thought Nana was going to kill herself when all my children ended.
The only real criticism I've got of this movie is it's nitpicking is subtitles. I don't normally mind movies with subtitles, but if it's an action movie, I find subtitles somewhat annoying because you're trying to read while watching the action at the same time, and I find that a little bit distracting. But it's really nitpicking.
I have that issue with a lot of movies. If there's a dub that's decent, I'll always watch that instead. I'm dyslexic. If there's a lot of talking, like I'm behind not only in dialogue, but I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
I'll say the same thing. I like watching foreign films in their native language, so I don't mind subtitles. But if it's an action movie, they can be distracting. But again, it seems nitpicky to me too, and I complain about it in my head and go, well, maybe I'm just not reading fast enough, or whatever.
Get better at it.
It's not something that would prevent me from watching the movie or turn me off from watching the movie, but it's just a minor thing. If that's the only criticism of the movie, it's a pretty fucking good movie.
It's not dialogue heavy. That's one of the things that saves it. Is the dialogue heavy moments aren't action packed moments. They don't talk a whole lot when they're punching the fuck out of the zombies.
Not really. No.
Not a lot of chit chat happening, so it's pretty okay.
I normally don't have an issue with subtitles as long as they're good subtitles. I recently watched a Spanish TV show on Netflix, which was fantastic. It was about it took place over a decade, so there was 10 episodes, and each episode took place in basically for a year. So it started in 1980 and finished in 1990, and it was about a group of people who started out illegally bringing in tobacco, and eventually they went to marijuana and heroin, etc., etc. Based on real events too. Fantastic series. The only issue was the subtitles were shit. Right, there would be some parts where a character would be talking for 30, 40 seconds, and they'd just flash up a huge amount of text for like 3 seconds.
Oh no, yeah,
And
no,
then-
that's
Oh, they would do their whole dialogue line
Yeah,
in one. Oh
and then,
no!
and then it would
Yeah.
disappear, and the character would still be talking. Either leave all of the whole text up for as long as that character's talking, right? So we have a chance to read it, or break it up into smaller parts. But
yeah, that's a big problem.
That-
You have to pause it every time there's a big wall of text.
I mean, it wouldn't have been an issue if they left it up long enough, but it would literally flash up for 2 or 3 seconds and then go, what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
Speed read,
You know-
Matt, speed read.
Often the problem with that is whoever is writing or translating the subtitles is translating it directly from whatever language. Where good subtitles will use nuances and like allegories and analogies from our language.
Yeah.
You know, they'll translate it into English.
Keep the essence of it as opposed to word for word.
Or,
yeah.
Word
It's
for
not
word
like-
is generally the wrong way to do it, because you're
it's
going to end up
clinical.
a sentence that is, well, it's too clinical. Yeah, a sentence that would be 10 words in English will be 26 words in English translated from Japanese.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just awful. Not
Well, then
only
you-
does it not make sense grammatically, but there's just too much fucking text on the screen at once.
And you
come
get
on.
you get instances like I know in Spanish in Mexico they say huevos instead of balls, which is eggs.
Yeah.
So if they were directly translating it to "I'm gonna kick you in the eggs," like a lot of people here are gonna be like, "What?" I mean, I'm sure you'd put it together, but it sounds weird. We don't call testicles eggs; they are balls.
We need to
Things
change
like-
that. We need to,
We need to start using eggs.
yes. We need to do that next year. That should be our goal.
So suck my eggs will become...
that has a whole new meaning. See, there's why you don't directly translate. This is why if there's slang, you use a slang like how like Pokemon will call a rice ball fucking donut. You can see.
Oh well, that's a translation thing, but yeah.
Technically, they're man eggs, though, aren't they?
I heard mayonnaise.
Man eggs, not mayonnaise.
Oh, mayonnaise, not mayonnaise.
Did you say different? Did you say mayonnaise? Same thing. Same thing.
Anyway, so we'd all recommend Train to Busan, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the best zombie movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, yes.
I would agree.
It was very well done. Yeah, it is. Yeah, for me too. It's one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. Really solid throughout. Never boring to me. Yeah, the zombies were actually original, which is almost unheard of now.
Jerky zombies.
Yeah. One thing we none of us mentioned was the deer at the beginning. It affects animals too.
Oh yeah, actually, that's something different.
Possibly that's how it spread so quickly.
Maybe.
Yeah, actually. Oh, mosquitoes.
Birds, mosquitoes,
cats.
Most likely birds. I think mosquitoes would take a little while, but yeah.
We can assume we can
birds
assume
for sure.
Mammals. Any mammal.
I didn't think about that until now. The first infected creature we see is a deer, and it gets hit by a car, and then it doesn't seem to have any other injuries, and then it wakes up with those gray dead eyes, and then the beginning credits roll.
Fuck, I didn't put that. Are there any?
I mean, I hardly think that was the catalyst, but maybe it was a carrier.
Yeah, actually, well, it was obviously infected, but it wasn't acting rabid. But then
No,
again,
it wasn't. It wasn't beforehand. Which I mean, it was a carrier. It
there's
was.
goldfish. They're goldfish. There was nothing to make it be acting
Mhm.
like that when the
But
camera was.
we didn't really see it until it was hit, did we? I mean,
Yeah,
No,
it
I
comes,
guess we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes flying out of nowhere, and he hits it, and then it gets
we,
up.
do we even see it before it gets hit? Doesn't he just hit
No,
something and then stop? And
Yeah, but you can imagine like any dogs or anything. Like, wow, it could spread fast via.
yeah,
well,
ooh,
I'm thinking
yeah.
between cities, birds would be the main
Mhm.
thing,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
obviously trains.
Well, trains, planes, and automobiles.
Well, yeah, actually, if animals can carry it, that does mean mosquitoes would spread it like a long
Slowly,
ways.
though.
Yeah, slowly, but mosquitoes spread disease now as it is.
Mhm.
AIDS and shit like that.
You can't get AIDS from mosquitoes.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. If it bites somebody with AIDS and then bites you, they spit a little bit of fluid back into you to make your meat all soft. That's how they spread disease. What do you mean you can't get AIDS from mosquito? Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You're an ass. Fuck you.
No,
I wouldn't either.
no, you can't. You can't get AIDS from mosquitoes.
Yes, you can. Oh, I'm gonna look it up.
Go on, look it up.
Look, I hope the thumping comes back while I'm doing this.
So next time on There Will Be Spoilers.
Aha! Yes, you can. Fuck you.
Well, you can, but what about
What?
everybody else?
What are you looking at? Info.
Oh my god, the two of you, no! I'm not entertaining you. Fuck you. This movie is good. Moving on
Not
now.
entertaining what? We're plenty
No,
entertaining.
I curse you both with children.
Oh, that's.
That would be cursing yourself with children, dear.
Oh no, I could run away.
You can
I'm
abort them violently.
I'm gonna replace me with a child. You'll never know the difference.
Well, children can't tell dad jokes nearly as well as I can.
So should we move on to the happy movie?
Oh,
No, this is well, yes, yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough depression.
I don't
for
know
one
why.
evening.
I don't know why I chose this one because, like, making myself watch it again was torture. Ben, why don't you tell us the synopsis of the movie? You have the best synopsis.
What did I say? It's beautiful but fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah.
They should put that on the box.
Yeah. And thanks for listening, folks. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for.
Don't torture yourself with Grave of the Fireflies, which Samaj called boring, which I could actually understand from a uncultured swine's point of view, that it could be very boring. It's very talky. Set in World War II, during and a little bit after World War II.
Well, it just
right
at the tail end of World War II.
Yeah.
It begins after the surrender of the Japanese in 1945 and is set basically during probably just it's never really mentioned, but just before and during the 2 atomic bombings.
Mm-hmm. We don't hear anything about that though.
But it does happen during the film for sure, because the film ends in September and the bombings happen in August.
Yes, it's very much,
and I'm sure that the protagonists are where they are for quite a while, a few months at least.
Yes, I would say about 6 months. I think the whole movie takes place over about 6 months.
Yeah, it's really hard to say, but I will say that it begins with a young teenager starving to death in a subway station.
Yes, we have inner monologue of Seta, who's a 14-year-old boy, telling us how he died that day in a subway station, surrounded by many other starving children.
Who were not
Whilst
zombies.
no no crossover.
No.
There's no crossover. There's no shamblers.
It is Asian though, and there are trains, so there is a connection to the other movie.
Yes. Oh
There
yeah,
has
there's
to
the
be.
connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I should point out that this movie is not a Japanese movie.
It's a Studio Ghibli.
No, because there's no ninjas, there's no giant robots, and no bukkake.
No samurai either. Depressing.
And I think it's a requirement that there has to be at least two of those things for it to be a Japanese movie, does it?
Yeah,
There has to be robot bukkake gangbangs, or it just doesn't qualify.
it didn't fulfill the Japanese quota, so we don't really know where this movie came from.
Technically not a Japanese movie, even though it was made in Japan and set in Japan.
And by Japanese people.
Yes. Oh God. I don't even know where I was anymore.
Oh, Godzilla.
Gojira.
So yeah, it starts with people starving to death, and it goes downhill from there.
Yeah, yeah. Children start. Well, actually, the calluses is sort of important of the reaction to them by all of the wandering adults. You know, get a job, and oh look, there's another one of them. Just starving very young children all over this train station that are more of an inconvenience to them than anything else. They just...
Well, they view them as a disgrace. They've just surrendered to the Allies.
Yep.
So basically anything that they're basically quote unquote looking forward to their new overlords at this point coming to visit.
Yeah. So they've got dirty, starving children everywhere, and it's shameful, and the people are very cold. And then
essentially, but yeah, the whole movie takes place around the fire bombings that happened near the end of the war all over the country, but this one centers on fire bombings in Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And we witness one of these bombings happen in the film, and it's a really long, drawn out scene.
Yeah, we basically see it from the warnings to the bombing to the aftermath. It's all coherent, and there's no, what I would say, cutaways. We just watch Seta and his 3-year-old sister running through this firebombed city. City town.
Well, yeah, it was a large, very large city at the time.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah. And they've been separated from their mother because she's ill, so they send her off to go to the shelter without them. They get caught in some of the fire bombs, so they go, I guess, to a water side and wait it out in a small cave until the fire bombings stop.
And we should point out that their mother is a mummy.
If only.
Soon to be.
Soon to be mummy.
One important thing I want to point out is that at least many of the people, Seta and his sister and their mother, for sure, probably with many thousands of others, were expecting bombs, like actual bombs.
Yes.
Not like atomic bombs, which haven't been dropped at this point in the story. But
bombs,
like
missiles,
explodey bombs.
Explodey bombs, boom booms, not oil filled.
We notice that Seta looks up and it's completely silent. All they hear is the planes flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should point out before we go much further, because it's going to get more depressing. This is an incredibly beautiful movie. The artwork in it is absolutely stunning,
But we
despite
skipped.
the topic.
Yeah, we sort of glazed over the beginning there, which is his inner monologue, and he walks out to greet his sister in a large field of fireflies, and they're both clean and healthy in appearance, and
Not for long.
Well, yeah,
uh,
the film opens basically with the
it opens with the ending.
Well, it does, but it opens with Seida's sister, Setsuko. Basically, you see her, and basically her spirit emerge from a candy tin.
Yes.
And it sounds silly when I explain it, but they board a train together after he has died, and it's more of it's more of an analogy. And I know this from reading and watching interviews with the filmmakers. Recorded and written around the time the film was released in Japan in 1988, that all of these scenes with the ghosts or the spirits are meant as analogies, not to be taken literally. I think that's important to mention.
Yeah. It's also all red overtoned. Very red. All the scenes with their spirit selves traveling around. Anyways,
so anyway, there's the firebombing.
Yep. They're in a cave at a riverside, and their mother they don't know where at this point. And when the bombing stops, everything's on fire. It's chaos, of course. Everything's reduced to rubble. And somebody that knows who he is finds them and tells them
somebody, I can't remember who, but they move in with their aunt, like maybe twice removed, basically.
Yes. That's a little bit
later. The other person finds him first and says, "Oh, your mother's in hospital. You need to go see her."
Yeah, I'll watch your sister. You have to go. She says to Seita, she needs to go see his mother, and we find that she's
not looking good.
The mummy. She's a mummy. His mom's a mummy.
Yeah, she's covered in third-degree burns, probably right down to the bone.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't have eyelids really anymore. They're just kind of.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's gross.
Yeah, it's quite awful.
It's gross. And so he comes out. Actually, this is one of those moments that I find really endearing from her, because she's only 3, Setsuko. And he comes out and says, we can't see Mom today, but we'll go see her tomorrow. And she just sort of stands there really sad, doesn't throw a fit like you'd think a toddler would.
She
and then
sulks.
Get their way. She just kind of sulks. Sad, long-faced. And he tries to cheer her up, and then it cuts to the next day where they find... Well, Seita finds that his mother's dead. And he doesn't tell anybody, but they go to live with their aunt. And she's refers to his mother as her sister, so they're closely related.
I guess so, yeah. But and you said he didn't mention that their mother died. He didn't even mention it to her. His aunt doesn't know that either.
No, he thinks she's under the impression that the two of them are staying with her for a short period of time while his mother recovers in hospital.
Also, while she's alive, the aunt would still get benefits from Seita's father, or the mother's husband, who is in the Navy.
Yes.
And
so she's making money for looking
after probably
them.
Dead.
Yeah. Oh, by this point, yeah, he's dead. Definitely, he's dead.
Or in battle, in the process of going to die.
He was in the Navy, and I think that's the first thing.
This was still probably before the atomic bombings.
Yeah. But wasn't there Navy?
So at this point he could still be alive. But either way.
Yeah, but we hear later on someone say that the Navy's been devastated, and
Yeah.
The Navy, well, historically, the Navy was they stayed to fight. The Navy was devastated after the bombs were dropped.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Japan
that yeah,
surrendered approximately 30 days after the second bomb was dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So
we don't hear from Dad.
mhm.
Seta does try to write letters to him, but we never, throughout the film, never hear from Father.
so it's pretty safe to assume he's dead somewhere.
Yeah, he was either dead, he died fighting. It does, yeah. Even if he was alive, it doesn't matter because we never hear from him anyway.
So the two main characters really have no one except for the aunt, who isn't the friendliest person.
No, she grows more resentful of them day by day, it seems.
Yeah, she's pretty fucking nasty, considering one of them is 3 and the other is only 14.
Mm-hmm.
And their mother's dead and they can't get a hold of their father. They've got nowhere to go. His school burned down, and everything he knew burned to the ground. And she goes, "Why aren't you in school? And why don't you have a job?" And
well, to be fair, it is during the war, so I guess her attitude is everyone should be doing something.
Yeah,
and I can understand. I can understand why he wouldn't be. I mean, his mother's just died. Everything he knows has been destroyed. But clearly, the auntie's attitude is, everyone needs to do their part, and she saw him as a slacker, I guess.
Yeah, lazy.
She did, and I can see it from her point of view a little bit, but he does go. I should mention that we see him burying supplies in his backyard with his mother watching at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
As the alarm first goes off, he goes back for the supplies and gives everything to his aunt except for the tin of candies that he gives to his little sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, which she trades for rice and then keeps some of it.
Yeah. No, she all of that was food. There was like
for them, and they kind of eat through it, and then after that, that's when
the kimonos happen.
Okay.
The fucking kimonos happen, and that's awful.
Which I find the aunt to be a complete and utter cunt in this scene, because she does this in front of the 3-year-old girl.
Yeah,
who doesn't know that her mother's dead yet.
Although the aunt we find out the aunt tells her later.
Well, the aunt tells her there, right then and there, that she's not using them. She's never coming back. She's dead to the squalling 3-year-old. Like, oh God, let her keep one. Like, just some level of humanity. They're children. She's upsetting this whole movie.
Which you made us sit through.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It is beautiful, though. It is.
It really is.
The quality of the artwork is really impressive. The story, though, is somewhat depressing.
Somewhat. Only a little bit.
Only a little bit.
A tiny minuscule bit of depression.
The Fireflies die. That was really sad.
Yeah, you may weep for 3 days after watching it, but it's so worth watching. If you're in the mood for something that's somber.
If
you want to be kicked in the guts by something beautiful, then
yeah.
Well, I mean, just as last episode's one of last episode's movies, Disco Path, is the perfect film to take a first date on, and it teaches you about the courting process. I think Grave of the Fireflies is
perfect.
Definitely a movie you should watch with your small children.
Oh, it's the perfect way to congratulate someone.
No, don't watch it with them. Just leave them to watch it by themselves.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, just put it on, and then go off to work or whatever. They'll be all right.
I think it's the perfect way to celebrate a pregnancy.
Look,
If you want to tell your
you're
husband
gonna have
that you're pregnant.
You're gonna have a little sister or brother.
Oh. No. Oh,
This is what'll
Jesus.
happen if you don't go to work, you little shit.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, yes, she strips them. She strips them of all their mother's belongings to
Yes,
trade for...
it's not good living with the aunt.
No.
No.
She does give them some of the rice. And, Seta at this point tries to look after them while still living there. He buys a little cooking pot, and his mother has a checking account or savings account at a bank, and there's 7,000 yen, and he's very excited because they can definitely live off of that forever. It's a ton of money.
What's that in Canadian dollars?
I actually don't know. Probably around 700.
It is about 700. That's about what it works out to. But in 1945, well, I mean, in lots,
oh my God, no, we're way wrong. It's like $80 Canadian.
Yeah, no. Sorry, about 70. Yes.
Yeah.
70, 75. But in 1945, in a lot of places, it was worth next to nothing anyway. Money was it didn't mean anything.
Well, yeah, he tries to buy food, but nobody wants to sell him food. They are only willing to trade him for it. Yeah, money's worthless at this point. Food is far more valuable than money, which obviously they learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is about the time that the aunt basically pushes him out, and he makes the decision to take his sister and go. When they find the cave, the abandoned bomb shelter.
Yeah, just before that, they decide that they're going to take care of their own food separately from the aunt.
Yeah, that's when he buys. He buys the cooking pot, and he buys them some food. Like this is still in the stages of war where they can purchase things. Like money's still okay to use. They're still able to buy things. This is before the bombs, I think.
At least in many places, anyway.
Yeah, they're still finding food for money, at least at this point. And they discover a cave, and of course, like Setsuko hates living at her aunt's, and Seta suggests, living in the cave.
What a great decision!
Oh yeah, 14-year-olds are super smart.
What could go wrong with that?
Ah, nothing.
Well,
and,
I mean, it's.
Go ahead.
Oh no, what were you going to say? I'm sure it's that the Fireflies are coming.
No,
they're so relevant. It sounds so ridiculous with the title of the film,
really
but they're really very, very relevant.
So it should be noted that Setsuko is already slowly breaking out in a mystery rash, which when we
got AIDS from a mosquito.
Yeah. When we first watched this, I assumed it was just like eczema or something. You know, kids get dry skin, and it's so much worse. It's not eczema.
Yeah.
Oh God. So they have a good time in that cave for a little while.
Yeah. So
the first night.
So they decide to leave the aunt's place and go live in the cave. And
And
they buy a couple of items for the cave, mosquito netting, and
well, you don't want to catch AIDS.
No, you don't catch AIDS.
No,
they've got mosquito netting and a wash basin and a little umbrella.
Yeah, they go shopping.
And
they have a little bit of a happy shopping spree.
Really.
Yeah, they have mats and actual proper bedding, and he's got a little dresser inside their bomb shelter, and he builds her a swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's getting worse.
And then they live happily ever after.
The end. Movie over. Okay, can we go now? It's like shutting it off before Bambi's mom dies. Oh
and then
no.
comes back as a zombie.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
Come on, power through
Setsuko.
it.
Okay, I'm doing it. Setsuko starts to get ill. They're
But
essentially.
what happens before that?
Did I
They
miss
have a
something?
great. You did something very important. They have a great night. The first night in the
Oh,
cave.
the first night where they catch all of the fireflies
Yes,
and release them.
in the
Okay,
mosquito netting.
okay. They catch their fireflies. They have the fireflies inside the mosquito netting with them. They get to go to sleep amongst the fireflies, and oh god.
The next day, Setsuko finds that they're all dead.
Fireflies don't have a very long lifespan, do they?
Well, no, and they couldn't get out, or for whatever reason, they're all dead.
Yeah.
And she makes a little grave for them.
Yeah.
And this is when she basically tells her brother that she knows that their mother's dead, because she asks him why she had to die.
And then he starts bawling, and then I start bawling.
Which is something awfully knowing and awful for a 3-year-old girl to say.
Yeah.
As she asks this of her brother as she's just slowly making a grave for these bugs. And that's when she starts to fall ill. A few weeks, I would assume, after that.
Yeah. Then some young boys find their home and said, "Ew, somebody's been living here," and they're
yeah, and they've had some good times too. They went to the beach, had a good time on the beach for a while, until
they were still living at Auntie's at that point.
But Setsuko, she comes across a dead body for a split second.
Of course,
Happy times.
Yeah,
happy times.
Covered in flies.
Not really.
Seta, being a good big brother, just kind of takes her away from it and changes the subject.
Yeah, don't look
really
at that.
Good day at the beach.
Yeah.
You come across at least one dead body. Yeah.
Oh no.
Crab hunting, sunburn. You've never seen a dead body, man.
Yeah, you need to go to the beach more.
Your childhood sucked.
Crab's gonna eat something.
It's true. It's true.
How do you think those crabs ended up in your bucket? You don't think they just subsist on nothing, do you?
Think of the crab.
Crab people. Oh, they taste like bacon.
So the young boys mentioned that. What is it they've been eating?
Fish, acorns. Not a lot.
That's it. Acorn paste or something, isn't it?
No, acorns.
Yeah.
They've got a big bucket of acorns. They don't have very much.
Apparently, it doesn't smell very good.
First. Yeah.
They're subsiding mostly on like what fish they can catch from that creek and what they can forage.
Frogs, I think.
Frogs.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. A couple of dead frogs. Yeah.
And when those boys discover their camp, we see Setsuko come staggering out of the cave, sort of in a daze, not really all there. And she wanders and passes out in the grass, which is where Seta finds her later.
Yes, because this is an incredibly beautiful movie about two kids starving to death. So, yeah.
Starving to death in a cave.
Yeah. And this is when he rightfully panics and tries to find a doctor for her.
Well, he does. That's, universal healthcare, man. So they go to a doctor, and he tells her that she's been having diarrhea and that they're not eating, and he says that the rash is just that she's very extraordinarily malnourished.
And he's not wrong. I'm sure he's...
No, they're both severely malnourished, so they both have those big sores.
They do, but that was a nice way of the doctor saying that she is starving to death.
Yes. Yes, and he goes, "Can't you give her something? Can't you give her a shot? Can't you?" And the doctor says all she needs is food. She just needs a good meal. And so Seta brings her back to the cave, and I don't know if any real time passes or if he leaves her there, right there, to go and try to get food. Oh, we skimmed over him stealing.
Yes, yeah, to survive.
Yeah,
he steals from one farmer. He steals. I can't remember what it was. The excuse me, the plane, the fighter plane that fires at them.
And they take cover in these crops, and they find tomatoes, and
he stuffs his face with tomatoes, wouldn't you?
And well, what Setsuko and asks him, "Is this okay?"
Like, and he goes, "Mm-hmm."
Well, yeah, we're gonna starve to death. Eat the fucking tomatoes. But it's just, of course, a 3-year-old isn't stealing bad, right? Is it okay?
I think I'd be living in the field, not the bloody cave.
Well, until you meet the farmer.
You get away with it.
The farmer. So yes, we missed the farmer catching Seta stealing vegetables.
And this farmer
the shit out of him.
Beats the shit out of this kid,
14-year-old.
Takes him to the and this was just in a daze, just following her brother, kind of. It sounds bad, but almost like a dog would, almost,
Yeah,
like she's out of it.
Yeah, she's not really all there.
Yeah, and so anyway, this farmer takes Seta to the police, and
I love the cop. He's like
the police officer's reaction to this.
Yeah. Is one of the only endearing adults.
Yeah.
In this film.
Well, he basically the farmer is. I mean, the farmer has been stolen from in wartime, and they're. But
I want this starving 14-year-old to go to prison right now.
And well, I don't know. It looks like you've already had your way with him. I could, it looks like assault to me.
Yeah, and of course, the farmer doesn't want to go to jail for assaulting a 14-year-old boy. They still have some semblance of society there. It's not complete chaos. Yeah. So he fucks off, and Seta gets to leave, and he finds Setsuko out there, and one of the first things she says to him is, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's been complaining about diarrhea too.
Yeah.
At this point, a lot. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go to the doctor, and then they go back.
He withdraws. He takes a whole bunch of money out of the bank account after this too,
and finds somewhere to buy. Oh, he buys her watermelon.
The watermelon, yeah, but is this before or after he learns that Japan has surrendered?
Oh, you're inside the bank when he
goes
to withdraw.
When he
withdraws the money. Yeah.
He goes in to withdraw the money, and somebody tells him that
the whole navy, the whole fleet is gone.
And the whole fleet is gone. So then he's now learned that his father is dead.
Most likely dead.
Well, yeah,
for sure.
Assumed dead at this point. He's been trying to get a hold of him for we can guess.
Months.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that the father's dead. They never actually state that he is dead 100%, but
yeah, we never hear from him. I'm sure he's dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We missed Setsuko's birthday, by the way.
Oh, her 4th birthday. Yeah.
Her 4th birthday.
Woo.
Happens in this time period. Yeah.
And she's been making rice balls out of mud too, hasn't she? So
rocks
and mud,
and eating marbles that she's been keeping in her empty candy tin.
Oh, and the big brother pours hot water into the candy tin at one point, doesn't he?
To get all the sugar out of it for her.
That was
her
a nice
little,
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one of the happy scenes. One of the few.
Yeah, the candy tin is through the whole film actually. When he gives it to her in at the aunt's house, and when
Well,
she
the
has
candy
one
tin. Oh, sorry. Go on. Yeah.
she has that one temper tantrum on the road. And he
Mhm.
bribes her with candy to get her to stop crying.
And she takes the little shards first,
Yeah, the little bits.
and leaving the 2 or 3 full candies that are left.
She understands they're the last ones left. So she puts them back, saves them for later. And then
Yeah,
when
the
it's
candy
finally
tin
empty,
is very much a catalyst of their relationship, I guess. It's
yeah,
really
it's like it almost symbolizes childhood innocence, the candy, I think.
Mhm.
I guess happy times too. I mean, it's a simple pleasure.
Oh yeah,
of candy. So
It is, yeah.
And then he makes her the sugared tea when it's finally empty. He fills it with hot water to get all the last of the sugar out.
and then they starve to death.
And then they starve to death in a fucking cave. Well, no.
After the bank, that's when Seda he comes back to the bomb shelter, and that's when he finds her that with the mud rice balls and sucking on a marble, about to swallow it. We assume about to swallow it.
Yeah.
That's when he explains that he got her some watermelon. She eats some and
she
smiles and says that it tastes good. And then she dies.
Well, she goes to sleep and
She
never
goes to
wakes
sleep.
up.
Yeah. That's when we hear her Seta's narrative voice again.
Yeah, it comes swooping back in from the beginning of the film and say that she went to sleep there and never woke up. I'm so sorry.
We get to watch him cremate his little sister and her stuffed doll after buying a casket and charcoal from the farmer or the fellow he's been kind of the guy who refused to trade him food, I think.
Yeah, so the one that said that he didn't have anything to trade, he didn't have anything to give him. He had no money. Mm-hmm. He didn't need his money. He needed the food. There was no sense in trading money when food was far more valuable.
So he stays with her burning body all night and puts some of her ashes into the candy tin.
And leaves. Never returns.
And they all live happily ever after.
Can we stop now? Oh, we get some nice panning shots of the cave with a broken swing,
with ghost images of
oh no
playing.
Oh, I blacked it out. Oh, the nice little end slideshow of her playing and swinging on the swing and playing in the mud, and oh god.
Times before the starvation.
Oh yeah, all the good times before the
that 1 or 2 days before.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah. The last scene in the film is actually my favorite, when I guess their spirits or whatever are sitting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And they're overlooking eating fruit drops, overlooking. This is where the slight propaganda of the film starts, but I don't really care. It overlooks present day Kobe with all the tall buildings and present day in 1988, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. All fireflies and beautiful and not burning.
So, what should what elements of this should we talk about? Should we just talk about the visuals? Let's concentrate on that because that's something positive, at least.
Well, the visuals, as you've said, are absolutely gorgeous.
It is. It's stunning to look at.
It is really stunning. It's just visually, I think it could hold my attention with no sound. You know.
I mean, if you want to watch two mute children starve to death in a cave,
just watch it in reverse. That way, she comes back from the dead, and they
get back to their mother and live happily ever after. Oh, that's perfect.
They put the fires out. Their mother heals, and it's great.
And you get all beautiful visuals. So the win.
And then Japan wins the war. Oh.
Something I should mention, something that this film was never meant to be, is propaganda. There was a brief message, I guess, that the filmmakers wanted to bring forward. It's definitely a remember your past message.
Well, if the intention was to be propaganda, it would have been a bad job. Bad job.
Yeah, no,
make Japan look very good.
The intention is it's not to make anybody the Americans as the Americans are only mentioned once.
Mm-hmm.
It's not demonizing anybody. It is what it is.
It's sort of it's what happened to a lot of children.
It's not lionizing anybody either.
No.
The evil foreign devils have us to this. It's just showing what people actually went through.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting, if not, because I'd hate to call this movie entertainment. It's because it's torture.
What's the origin of the story? Is it based on a manga or original story?
It is based on, as far as I know, well, this is a fact that it is based on autobiography, I believe.
Okay.
Like a semi-autobiography. Where somebody will write about their life, but dramatically.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say it would have to be a little bit dramatic. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist.
It is based on true events, though, with two real people that went through this at this time. These things happened.
The war itself is sort of background noise through the whole.
Well, it is. We don't even hear about the major catalyst of the war that ended it, which was the atomic bomb droppings. We don't even hear it when the fire bombings in Kobe happened. In the film, those bombs had not been dropped yet historically.
No, we
I don't know when it was, but let's say it was March or April. The bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August. I can't remember the dates exactly. The 5th and the 9th, or the 3rd and the 9th, or something.
I would assume that everyone in Japan would know that the atomic bombs have been dropped, unless, of course, it was hushed up by the Japanese government.
Well, if you're starving to death in a cave, you don't exactly have a TV.
In some areas of the country, rumor has it that it was hushed up and silenced quite vigorously and quickly.
I wouldn't be surprised, because that would cause mass panic.
A lot of generals were basically ordered under the threat of death to just go about business as usual and keep that propaganda train running
until the second one hit.
Even the second one hit, they surrendered. It took them a month to surrender. Even after that, they fought to the absolute bitter end. It was the defeat of their navy that really was a major catalyst in them surrendering, when their entire fleet of hundreds of ships was sunk in the span of just a week, 5 or 6 or 7 days.
Damn, the Americans should have nuked their navy. Then we would have Godzilla.
Then Godzilla wouldn't be fiction.
Bullshit, America. How dare you? You nuked the wrong area. We want Godzilla.
Well, they did plenty of tests in the ocean.
Well, where the fuck is Godzilla then? He needs bodies to sustain.
Godzilla got killed in the first Godzilla movie.
Didn't he just go back to the ocean?
I'm pretty sure he died at the end.
I love how we're gendering the giant fucking the giant monster.
Oh,
She then.
There you go. Yeah. She's a strong, independent Gojira. You don't need no nuclear.
What's a gender neutral term? It.
The turtle monster.
They the monster.
They, them, pronouns, respect.
Anyway, that's all I really know. I've actually never looked into in detail what it's based off of, but I do know for a fact that it's based on a semi-autobiographical book or work of some sort. So, I guess I should have looked into that a little bit more.
So should he have gone back to the auntie's place, or never have left?
I mean, it's.
He had a chance to go back. I can't remember who was it that said you should just go back to your aunt.
The farmer. The farmer said.
Yeah, it was the farmer.
I think
he
didn't go back out of pride. He didn't swallow his pride.
Yeah, I can do it.
I'm not saying that's why they died, but I think it could be. Well, I don't know. I mean, they were pretty sick beforehand, and would she have let them in? I mean, it is her house. The authorities might have kicked them out. As cold as it is,
he could have tried though.
They could have.
How sound of mind do you think he was while starving?
Quite, because he was trying to save his sister, and he chose not to. So I think a lot of it was unfortunate pride at that point.
Yeah.
Where.
That would be hard to. That would be hard to live with. Good thing he didn't. Ha ha ha. That would be a lot of guilt for anybody, let alone a 14-year-old boy, 15 at the end there, to live with. I starved my sister to death because I was too proud to go back to a mean woman.
Yeah, exactly. I think you would swallow your pride at that point.
Yeah, because she wasn't abusing them at all. She was just fucking mean.
I mean, they were very hungry when they were living with her, but at least they were eating.
Yeah, they were eating like the scraps, regularly. But still, they would have survived.
Yeah.
Well, when you're starving to death, your body will use everything it can. So.
Yeah, you become very proficient at starving.
You could eat tree roots, and your body will find some means to survive off of that. So,
you could starve for a long time.
Even if that's all you're eating.
Not if you're 3.
Well, that's just it. Yeah.
Because they were eating like fish and acorns and.
When he asked her what she wants, when she didn't like the pumpkin very much. Oh.
Yeah.
Rice and sashimi, like fish and
he goes, I'm gonna get it,
please.
I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna get it for you, and he did. But it was.
Well, she died.
Yeah. It was too late. Oh. Yeah, it was too late. Yeah. She, oh God, when she has the actual panned shot of her body when she's offering him the rocks, saying she made rice balls.
Yeah.
And you can see just how much she deteriorated. Oh.
Happy times.
Again, a round of applause for the artwork because it's gorgeous, but oh fuck. There's some details I didn't need to see, like her collarbone, and you should never see a 3-year-old's collarbone.
The sunken in stomach, yeah.
Yeah. And then the bloated stomach, ribs.
Yeah, the bloated little stomach, yeah.
The just skeleton and skin, basically. Oh, especially when she has her shirt off at the doctor's.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a beautiful film. Not to sound too preachy, but I think it's a really really important movie, just like
Yeah,
a
it's.
lot of other movies of that nature are.
I'd put it up there with like Schindler's List and stuff. It's one of those. It's one of
Yeah,
those
I mean
films people
it's
should see. You should see it if you've never seen it. Like you're never gonna want to watch it ever again. But like I can't believe I've put myself through it twice now.
Yeah, I only watched it once
I've heard
before doing this review, so
I've seen
Yeah,
it I've seen it
Understand twice, but not this.
I've seen it 3 times in my life. The first time I saw it was when I was what I said earlier was with my mother. That was the first time I saw it. The second time I saw it was with Anon, and the third time as well. That's it.
Yeah.
I've only seen it 3 times in my life.
I forced you to watch it the third time.
Yeah.
And you will never be able to use this show to get me to watch it again. Because we've already done it.
Well, there you go. Well, there's the recap episode. Come on.
yeah.
But that
And what
doesn't mean
about
I have to watch it again. I
What
don't
about-
have to watch it again to do a recap.
Graves of the Fireflies 2?
Oh, where they come
The
back
Unstarvening.
they come back as zombies.
And there's actually ninjas in that.
Oh yeah, Grave of
Yep.
the Fireflies 2, Train to Busan.
Oh, we did actually. That's something else we didn't see any of in Train to Busan is child zombies.
That's true.
I'm thinking, I don't think I remember seeing any.
No, nobody has the balls to do that. But
They have
Most
no.
part.
They do
Actually, no, I
too
shouldn't-
much.
no, I should. Well,
The Walking
I
Dead
shouldn't say that,
does
I mean-
it. Everybody does. Everybody
um,
does the baby zombie or the kid zombie, and then the protagonist has to shoot the child. Oh my god!
Dawn of the Dead remake starts with a child zombie.
it does. Yeah,
That's a great scene too.
it is actually that actually really is a good scene. It's really jarring.
One of my favorite parts in that movie is when she makes it outside because she doesn't know that the zombie apocalypse has happened, and she makes it outside thinking she's just escaped this hell
Yep.
inside the house, and she
And
looks
then her
around,
husband.
yeah, and she looks around and like the world's just gone to hell, and there's
Yeah.
smoke in the distance, there's
You know,
people shooting each other and people ripping people apart.
explosions. Yeah,
Yeah, and I love that because she went to bed happy, tired, just a normal day, and she wakes up the next morning unaware that the entire world's just gone to shit.
yeah.
That would
It
happen
was
to
really
a lot.
it was a basic suburban evening. They had sex in the shower and this whole the whole works, right? Like
That's just an average day.
no, it's just to wake up to that. Yeah, I like that movie a lot more than I should have actually.
Speaking of Sex in the
Oh,
Shower,
it's a good
Antichrist sure
movie.
is a good movie.
I would say it's a decent remake.
Yeah, it was good. I've seen it quite a few times. It's entertaining throughout. I don't think it's as good as the original.
No, but I think that's how a remake, what a remake should be.
They're
It has,
different.
it has improved special effects, right? Which the original didn't have the budget for, or the technology back then. And
they
also,
were okay, but I mean the zombies were unconvincing. They were all green.
yeah,
they were
it was good for the time.
But yeah,
But in 2004 or 2005 or whatever, obviously
2004 was that. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, bigger budget, better special effects. But the other thing is, it's different than the original.
Mhm.
It still maintains the core of the original, but it's something new and different.
You know what? It's just like the Thing from Another World and John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. That's another.
The
good
Thing
example.
from Another World is awesome. I'm not sure if you've seen that recently.
Yeah.
But I really I like it. I think it's an awesome movie. I mean, 1951.
Yeah.
58. Sorry. It's great, but yeah, the remake is totally different. But it does maintain the same theme of paranoia and
It's better.
It is. Well, the remake actually is better. I think it's the better film out of the two. Absolutely, on a technical level and on a critical level too. I think it's certainly better.
We should do a review of John Carpenter's The Thing sometime.
Yeah, no, we didn't already do that.
I guess we've talked that to death already.
They had flamethrowers in fucking Antarctica. I don't give a shit.
I thought because this was a zombie episode, I could do that.
It is a good example of a remake, The Thing.
How about The Fly? That's another
one. I was just about to say The Fly. You read my mind. That is another perfect example of a remake which blows the original away.
It does, and I like the original. But yeah, you're right. Cronenberg's '86 remake is just awesome.
It's gross,
and it wouldn't be what it was without Jeff Goldblum.
I like that he uses that.
Oh yeah, his semi almost speech impediment that isn't really a speech impediment.
His stutter. I'd call that.
You know, this is going to sound really stupid at first, but I compare Jeff Goldblum kind of to William Shatner in a way. But Jeff Goldblum is obviously a better actor. No. Hear me out. Jeff Goldblum is obviously a better actor because he can act. They're both kind of one-trick ponies. But Shatner is cringy, and Jeff Goldblum isn't.
You and I both know William Shatner knows how to not Shatner. We've seen him do it before.
Well, just imagine splicing the two.
That means it's like an aesthetic choice.
No!
There's
come on. I've been building that up. Yeah. There's something in my blood.
Oh, no. No. Shatner makes everything worse.
Shatner makes everything
worse.
And this can be a good thing.
He makes everything worse.
He even played a hooker once.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Technically.
What? I try to avoid Shatner other than watching him on Twitter because he's hilarious on Twitter. But God, anything. Oh, his best movie, Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, well, that we got before he dies. We got to go to a con and get him to sign Miss Congeniality. Yep, it's got to be VHS too.
I am going to tell him to his face that it is the only movie I can watch with him in it. I just want to see if he'll tell me to fuck myself to my face.
He might tell you to fuck off.
Is he the only surviving original crew from the original
after Leonard Nimoy? I think he is actually.
What about
I think I'm not sure though.
The comms officer. I can't think of her name.
Oh, the black one.
Oh.
Yeah. Is she still alive?
I don't know. I think you know what? I think she might have died recently.
Hang on, let me see.
Okay. Maybe Shatner's the only one left.
Mm-hmm. Well, Shatner is shambling into his, I think, 84th year of shambling unlife. So I'm not sure, but he definitely seems embalmed somehow.
Wait, TK's still alive?
Well, yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh my God! How could we forget about TK?
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for one of you, and I hate Star Trek, and I'm like, what about George Takei?
Yeah, actually, I feel dumb now.
Uncle George is disappointed in both of you.
Well, Uncle George is disappointed and triggered at everything all the time. So.
Yeah, he's gone that way, hasn't he?
It hasn't fallen out of popularity because of some of the comments he made. #MeToo.
Yes.
He's unpersoned, so that's why we forgot him.
Oh, kind of like
He's been 1984, so
yeah, it's like just like
Black
good
Egg.
old Quill Wheaton. Same deal.
Oh no, he did that to himself. He acts
Good.
himself
I
on social media. He's like, I don't deserve to be treated this poorly. I'm leaving.
has he done anything apart from Star Trek: The Next Generation?
well, he was in Stand By Me, which is a really
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
movie,
Yes,
but
true.
that was long before that. You know, I don't think so. He
So
was
that's
an awful, terrible
He's
character in
that's
Star
really-
Trek Generations for a while.
that's
and I
really
think-
his only claim to fame, being an unlikable character in a beloved sci-fi TV show.
which he brought up on Twitter every second day for many, many, many years.
Uh,
And
Good
he
old
plays
Tim.
board games on YouTube.
Wait,
Really?
what?
Wow.
Really? He actually does YouTube?
Yeah.
Are all his comments disabled?
Probably.
we
Now.
should get into that YouTube thing.
Yeah. YouTube.
Yeah, it seems
sucks.
like it might be going somewhere.
Yeah, down the fucking toilet.
Well, I hear you can make money off of it now.
You could in 2007.
You guys are just pessimists.
I'm sorry, do we offend you with your realism?
Everyone who's anyone's going over the shit shoot.
Yeah,
I better
shit
be
shoots
careful, or
the-
I better be careful, or one of our 4 viewers is going to think I'm serious and I'm going to get land blasted.
Oh my god, Samaj said that BitChute reminded him of too much of a porno website.
It does kind of look like a porno website upon second.
He said it made him uncomfortable watching me in this mask on a website that looks like a porn site. I'm not sorry, Samaj. I'm not sorry.
Well, Samaj, if you're still watching, you did that to yourself.
Yeah. Vigorously, I bet.
I mean, well, Tanga eggs are hard to ignore, I guess, but I mean,
they're all floppy and glorious.
Don't mention Tenga Eggs. That's the sponsor for the sponsor, non-sponsor for the other show.
Yeah, I know. We hey, I didn't say the catchphrase.
well, sponsors sleep around though, so
Yeah, they're fucking dirty skanks. Tanga eggs are trashy.
We don't have a sponsor, non-sponsor for this show yet. So
Bad Dragon. Go fuck yourself.
cuck dating.
That's a thing. That's a thing. Don't even joke about that.
That's the other thing. I made that as a fake ad for one of my videos. Don't tell me it's a real thing.
Oh, I bet you it is. I'm curious. Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, I put cuck dating site into Google. The first thing, find cuckold couples in Canada. Best cuckold dating sites. Oh.
you know, I'm pretty sure this show devolves into porn every
time.
single time.
www.cuckolddater.com.
Speaking of which, our next show is all about dick.
Data
So much dick.
We're going to be talking dick the whole episode.
We are. I love dick. You know, when I was a kid, dick was one of the first things that I actually got to experience by myself. Sometimes, you know, my mom didn't really know what to read me, so she'd come home with new dick sometimes, and we'd lay on the couch together and experience it together.
Did you enjoy
Yeah.
experiencing dick with your mother?
I really, really did.
What's your favorite kind of dick?
Robotic dick.
Good night, everybody.
We are, of course, talking about Philip K. Dick, famous sci-fi writer. At least I hope we are.
Alien dick.
Well,
So, yeah.
wait, what?
Bad dragon, fuck yourself.
Philip K. Dick, who was a very, very interesting individual, was a very interesting individual, as well as an interesting writer. So it should be an interesting show.
Yeah, his film adaptations, or I shouldn't say his film adaptations based on his work are kind of hit and miss.
Oh, I totally agree, but the good ones are very good.
They are, even most of the really bad ones are at least entertaining.
Yep.
So, and most of the bad ones at least get the essence of the story, even if they're bad films.
The tip of the dick.
Yeah, the tip.
I mean, dick's really hard to take.
We'll be unsheathing the dick.
Oh god, I haven't
We
watched
will be,
a lot of these, so at least I can make the fucking puns.
Speaking of dick,
we'll be taking dick further than anybody ever has.
We're gonna be really closely examining dick.
Deep diving into dick.
Some of the dick absolutely sucks.
That's backwards.
Well, it depends what story you're talking about.
Is there time traveling?
Adaptions, though, I see that season 3 of The Man in the High Castle is out. Stunned silence. I'm guessing you don't know what that is.
No, sometimes you are going to catch us off guard, or vice versa. So,
okay, The Man in the High Castle is a Philip K. Dick story set after World War II. It's an alternative history where the Nazis and the Japanese have won World War II. So I guess there weren't teenagers starving to death in caves.
Okay. Oh, so it's Nazi Japanese dick.
Yes, and so the east coast of America has been taken over by the Nazis, and no Trump jokes, thanks. And the west coast has been taken over by the Japanese, and there's a neutral zone, I think, around the Rocky Mountains in between. And basically, someone has been running an underground and producing propaganda films, which are actually from our timeline where the Nazis were defeated.
Oh, please, no, there's no Donald Trump.
Well, no, this would have been written in the 40s, probably.
Oh, that would have been entertaining as shit.
50s or 60s, I think. I'm not sure the actual year. Yeah. But yeah, the TV adaptation's quite interesting. So it's a good dick adaptation.
I shall have to check that out because I remember reading that story. Now I have it in one of my collections. So that was a long time ago. I was a teenager when I read that last.
Yeah, I think I last read Philip K. Dick in the 90s. I had like a book of...
Good God, you haven't had dick since the 90s?
Yeah, I think that was the first dick I bought myself, actually. Was that book. Without my parents' help.
Have you gone so long?
Do you think there's many dick movies on the internet? Like,
I don't know. Why don't you?
There are a lot of dick movies on the internet.
Just in case someone wants to experience some visual dick.
Yeah, why did you go to Google and find out? Turn safe.
Just Google. Just Google dick story. Start with the images and just go from there. It's a deep dive.
I'm actually curious what would happen if you looked at the image from Dick Story.
Well, I mean, why isn't ODS a thing?
Immediately I see Moby Dick.
Well,
of course.
And now I should point out that next episode is just about dick. We won't be discussing cocks at all. So no Brian Cox mentioned anywhere. Just Philip K. Dick.
Hey, look, Philip K. Dick. It comes up. Oh, Andy Dick, of course. There's a surprising lack of cock in these images. It's sort of there's some, but not a lot.
And on that note, I think we'll end it unless anyone else has anything to say.
How disappointing!
So, do we recommend the two movies? I definitely recommend watching Train to Busan. I would recommend watching Grave of the Fireflies at least once.
You got to be in the mood for it.
You got to be in the mood for it.
Yeah,
Visually stunning.
It's slow.
The story,
beautiful.
rather depressing, but you should watch it regardless.
You'll make it. You'll make it. You will survive. Life does go on after that movie is over. For you, anyway.
Unless you're living in a cave.
Then your life will end very painfully and slowly.
Slowly.
But yeah, same for me pretty much. Train to Busan is actually one of the best modern zombie movies I've seen in a long time. Really, really well made. Even the CG is pretty top notch.
Oh yeah, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's a good action drama movie. That's all I really have to say about that. Grave of the Fireflies, my opinion differs a little bit from Bane's in that I think you should experience it at most once.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that and just watch it once, pay attention. It really is beautiful.
It truly is. It is very depressing, but it's worth it.
It is. It's preachy without being too preachy. And
don't let children starve to death even when you're at war. It's not nice.
No, I think it's important. I think it's important to see what people go through and have went through.
Yeah.
And
remembering past mistakes is really important.
Yeah, I'm glad we've never had a war since World War II. I mean, we really learnt our lesson with that, didn't we?
Yeah, no, nobody's warring right now. No.
So, Anon, you recommend both?
That's depressing.
Of course, absolutely. Train to Busan's fabulous. It's so much fun. And I don't watch Grave of the Fireflies if you're suicidal.
Which, thankfully, there is no sequel of Grave of the Fireflies in the works, but there is a sequel for Train to Busan in the
yeah, that's exciting.
works, which should be out next year.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We should do a review.
Yeah, maybe. Who's wasting a pick?
I don't know. I guess it depends how good it is.
That's true.
Maybe
we can still dump on a bad movie.
We could do a special in which we have a look at sequels to movies that we've already reviewed.
We could do that.
It could be an interesting topic.
I wonder how Antichrist 2 would turn out.
Oh, God. How the fuck did he get out of that forest?
And on that note, I think we'll end it.
Good night, everybody.
Catch you later, guys.
Night.